Happy Friday, y'all. What's good? Ty over there discussing you again. Cool. Thank you for telling me, though. We got bigger fish to fry. What up, y'all? Happy Friday. It's early in the month. Usually they don't do it till around like the last week. Sweeps week. Man, that's easy. We gonna see. Appreciate the sub. Y'all gonna have to help your boy out today, man. I'm gonna need more taps. Yesterday was brutal. We was locked in though. People be locked in, they be forgetting to tap. I know. I do this shit all the time. He was on the For You, which is good. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I love that. Let's see if we can get it popping. Who ruins most relationships? Megan said I would like it twice if I could. I appreciate that. Men always ruin it? Oh, man. Crazy. Men ruin relationships by creating environments unsafe for women. Who ruins the most relationships? I'm curious to know. Maria says, men, emphatically. Gene said, them nakers. Them nakers is crazy. 1804 husband says, TikTok. That's a weird response. You see how the women are giving like actual responses, like honest actual responses? And the first man to respond says TikTok. The second man to respond says bad people who are not loyal. I think he doesn't mean to put the ad in there. I've heard some reasons why men ruin the relationships. I've heard it was men from the women. But then the men's is saying the most weird shit. Like y'all can't, like the men can't say women, right? The men who have answered so far, they can't say women because they know that is going to sound stupid. So they say TikTok and bad people. So it would appear that men actually know that men ruin most relationships. Oh man, Brad has something to say. He said, women and their expectations placed on them from media. Men and their expectations placed on them from media. Sounds weird. Sounds like a strange take. What does that even mean? Brad, hey, oh, there you go. You in. Service I got in this area. You sound good. You sound good now. All right, bet. Yeah. So you said say thoughts on it. Go. What's your thoughts on it? Say it again. You basically said who ruins most relationships. Mm-hmm. I would say and their expectations placed on them by the media. What expectations? A fantasy, desire. Mm-hmm. The fantasy and desire of the perfect person that will fit all their needs without them having to do anything extra or without them having to do anything at all for real. Mm-hmm. And then when those expectations aren't met, she leaves and it ruins the relationship. Okay. Can you tell us what expectations do the media put in women's minds? Like what expectations do women have that you feel like the media pushes that are unfair for me to meet? That he will give up his wants, desires, and needs in order to fill hers. He will have no expectations of her. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, he will chase her if in fact he is worthy of her and he feels that he's worthy of her. And where do you see this at in media?
Like, give me an example of this. Where have you seen this?
Every rom-com ever.
No, that's not it. That's a weird.
Every book based in fantasy ever.
Okay, so I'll ask you again. I can appreciate the statement that you made being general, but now I want a specific example of how this is happening. Like, give me the movie. You said it's happening in rom-coms. You've observed this. Tell me the rom-com, and tell me how it does it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, easy. I won't even go rom-com. I'll go a favorite that a lot of women love is 50 Shades of Grey.
I've never watched that before.
You familiar?
No, I know. I mean, I know the. You know what I'm saying? I've never watched it before. I've never read the book. It always looked corny to me. But yeah, I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah,
okay.
That's why I paused. I didn't know if you were familiar or not.
Yeah.
A lot of men aren't, to be fair. But
a lot of men aren't familiar with 50 Shades of Grey. Women didn't like 50 Shades of Grey.
Familiar with 50. They like the book. They loved the book.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm saying. I don't know
why the movie was made.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it's a story about a man super powerful in his own right, billions of dollars, this, and third, literally takes time and patience out of his day to chase this woman who does not necessarily want him because he believes that he's worthy of her and she should be his. Now, you put that in real world, that's scary.
But wasn't he
pretty much unlimited?
Wasn't he like a dominatrix or he was domineering, right? He was like abusing her.
No,
he wasn't.
No, he was a sub. He was a sub, and he had switched to being a dom, but he was trying to teach her that role. He was trying to teach her the role of being a sub in a relationship.
Yeah, so he was abusing her. Yeah, I've seen clips of it and it looked like he was abusing her.
No. For a lot of the vanilla community, absolutely, it's abuse to a lot of people. But for those that are not in that community, those who are in the community, they see it as sexual. So to each their own.
Yeah. Right? So you think that movie that I've heard women categorically say they didn't like, you're saying that movie taught women? Like, wouldn't that movie, like, the funniest thing about what you're saying is that movie seems like it really taught men that they should want a subservient woman. Like it's literally the exact, like that movie would represent how men are manipulated by the media to want women in subservient positions. Like, that's a perfect example of that. That was for the case you're trying to make, you literally just made the worst case for it to me. But so I'm not seeing that. And it's not you started off by saying,
yeah. No, I understand why you would feel that way. Yeah. Being that, one, you haven't seen the movie. 2, you're not part of the lifestyle, and 3, so you wouldn't.
But most people aren't, Brad. But most women aren't. Most men or women aren't.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. But what I'm saying is that in that movie, in that scenario of fantasy or whatever the case may be, you will also recognize that in the dynamic that they have, she has the power. It's not him. He has no power. She has to bequeath him the power in order to even take over her for her to do it sexually. But without that, he is literally in a subservient role to her on a day-to-day basis.
Okay. I can't. I in all honesty, I've never seen it, like I said, and I saw clips of it, and I've heard and I read articles about it, and it didn't seem like women liked it from what I read. And the little bit, even what you're telling me right now, once again, seems like they were just teaching men. You know, like it was that book and that movie seemed like a fantasy for me, right?
Let's go to something a lot simpler then.
Yeah.
Let's go to something a lot simpler. Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's just take, because it brought up a lot of times. I've heard it a few times on your panel and others. Mm-hmm. Just the Disney princess role.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Disney princess role. Affluent male finds a woman of his dreams, with sight unseen sometimes, and risks life and limb to come save her, or to come alleviate her of whatever struggle she's going through at the time. And therefore, gives her a brand new life, something of leisure, something of ease, something of fun, and therefore she doesn't have to do any work for the rest of her life, all on the strength of him looking at her and saying, this is the woman I want.
Wait, what movie?
Cinderella, Snow White,
Snow White.
Shrek. What?
Cinderella. Cinderella was a poor girl who was abused by her stepmom, and the nigga bumped in. It wasn't sight unseen. He bumped into her at a ball. He didn't know who she was.
I said sometimes sight unseen.
I know, but wait, hold on. But I'm saying he didn't know. He thought Cinderella was a princess. He thought Cinderella was a princess. He found out later she wasn't, but he didn't know she wasn't a princess. He met her at a ball. She was dressed to the nines. You know, she ran away, or you know the rest of the story, right? Cinderella, she was in the fucking forest minding her own business, and the mirror on the wall told the motherfucker to go get her. like he didn't what do you mean? They told the nigga to go get her.
That's my point.
But what's the point though? I'm not understanding.
The point is, in these situations, the men are supposed to drop everything they're doing, or want to, quote unquote, drop everything they're doing to go find the woman of their dreams. That's the fantasy that's sold to women. The man that you need in your life will want to drop everything they're doing, sometimes sight unseen, to go save you from whatever you're going through in your life. He'll come in, he'll give you all his money, he'll give you the structure, he'll make sure that everything that you need is provided for, and then on top of all of that, he will also be emotionally adept, he'll be intelligent, he'll listen to your problems and validate your emotions, and all of this with a good family to boot, so you'll have great in-laws. This is a fantasy that's sold to.
But why? Wait. I'm curious to know. Nothing you described sounded like it should be outside of the realm of possibility. It didn't really sound. Huh?
That's exactly how it's sold.
I know, but I'm saying, hold on. Say it again. Say what the expectations are, because nothing you said sounded like, and that's just fucking crazy. They can't expect a man to make money, be nice to them, treat them like a human being, come from a good family. Like, why can't they expect that? Because basically you're just saying that men are shitty and women shouldn't have like any expectations of men. And if they have any expectations of men, then they're the reason why the relationship ends. Like, I'm not so tell me the expectations again.
You're going from A to Z.
No, I'm not. I'm just okay. Tell me, give me the examples again. Give me the examples again.
The examples are is that the biggest example is that he's not allowed to expect anything of her. That's one.
Which is a lie. Which is a lie. On his face, you know that that's a lie. Wait, you know that's a hold on, Bread. You know that's a lie, because women at the very least / most, because it's the craziest thing, they are expected to give birth. At the very least. That's what men expect out of women. Am I hold on.
When?
What do you mean when?
When are they expected to give birth?
What?
When are they expected to give birth?
What are you talking? What do you mean when?
When? You said they're expected to give birth. There has to be a timeline to it. So when are they expected to give
I don't.
birth?
When do most people have babies?
Men are expected to come out of pocket immediately. Men are expected to
hold on. You're moving. Hold on. You're moving the goalpost.
They're expected to be emotionally.
You're moving, sir. You're moving the goalpost. You just said that. Hold on, sir. Hold on. You just said that men don't. That women. That men don't have an expectation of women. Then when I said men expect women to have, I'm talking about in a relationship, like a committed relationship, right? So if you're in a committed relationship and you ain't done nothing wrong and that person ain't done nothing wrong, you as a grown adult man expect this woman at some point in time to have your kids. You're saying when? I don't know, nor do I care. It's not, now you're moving it around. You said, I'm just going back to what you said. You said men don't. That is emphatic. That is black and white. You said they don't have an expectation of women. Now you want to move it to, well, men have to do more to get to that point. I don't give a fuck. That's irrelevant. They are, but once again, hold on, time out. So once again,
real quick, because you was going on this, they're expected to have the baby, but they're not. Yeah. That's the whole thing. Because it's a woman's choice, they're not expected to.
They are expected to have a baby, even if they choose, Bread. That doesn't make sense.
Public, would you agree that most kids in this world are mistakes? They
No.
just happen randomly.
No.
So you're saying that most kids are planned?
Yes.
Really?
In the world or in this country? I don't know about the world, but in this country, planned for sure.
In this country, most kids are planned.
Yeah.
What is your reasoning behind
most
that?
kids are born in wedlock. Hold on, time out. Most children are born in wedlock.
But that doesn't mean that they were planned.
Of course. What else do I gotta go by if not that? If you're married, why the fuck wouldn't I think you expect to have kids at some point in time? What are you talking about? Most kids, see, you thinking about black people specifically. Most black children, maybe, I don't know. I don't know, to be honest with you. Maybe, I don't know. But are most children in this country random acts of hunching? Nope. Absolutely not.
Maybe we're at an impasse there. I would disagree. But to stay on the general,
what are you basing that on? You have nothing to base that on. Nothing. Zero.
Yes, I do. The fact
based on what?
The fact is that a lot of people have unprotected sex. Correct.
Okay. All right.
In a relationship, out of a relationship, in marriages, or outside of marriages, right? And a lot of babies come from random acts of hunching. Would you agree? A
lot, yes. Most, no.
A lot. What are we talking about? 49, 51?
No, whatever you. It ain't most. Most babies don't come from random acts of hunching. Period.
Most people aren't married.
Most people do get married in this country. See? You didn't know that.
No.
Yes.
Most people aren't married when the baby comes. No,
who told you that?
Most people are not married.
Who told you that?
It's the facts.
All right.
That's the facts.
Okay. Okay, man. And you know what? Fuck it. I don't even care. I'm just trying to understand your point. That you said that that men don't have an expectation of women, but I can name at least one. Now, if you want to talk about before that, right? You talking about, that's going to be some years into the relationship. Fine. I'll give you that. Cool. So what is expected of a woman before she has kids to have sex with the man?
That's a great question, Public. What is
I'm not asking you. I'm telling you that's the answer. I'm not asking you. That's the answer. I answered the question.
What is the answer? To have kids or to have sex?
Sir, I just said before a woman has a child, before the man expects her to have, before he expects that woman to have a child, before he expects that woman to sleep with him. And I'm not talking about for the purposes of having it. I'm two separate things in this case, right?
Absolutely. No, I agree.
So when you were talking about, the men have to pay for the dates, because the nigga trying to sleep with her. That's his expectation.
Okay, so you're saying that she does have expectations then, correct?
Everybody has expectations. I'm telling you, you just said men don't. This not about do women have expectations. Of course. Hold on, Brad. Please don't. Brad, please stop talking while I'm talking because you're not hearing what I'm saying. You're trying too hard to argue. If you listen to what I'm chilling. You're not. You're literally not. You're not listening to what I'm saying. You said that men don't have you said that women feel like men shouldn't have expectations of them, or that the media, and that's how we got here, that the media pushes this narrative that women shouldn't have expectations of men. And I just pointed out two huge expectations men have of women. Two huge ones: sex and babies.
So, really quick, a man is not allowed to expect sex from her, one, and he is not allowed to expect.
Oh my God. What a fucking lie. What a lie.
He's not. So
you can expect whatever the fuck you want, Brad.
Public. He takes her out on a date. He is allowed to expect sex.
Sir.
No.
Yes.
No.
He is.
No.
What are you talking about? You acting like it's a law against it.
He's not allowed to, because
hold on. Can people control your
as soon as he
Brad,
puts the expectations into the world, he is denied it.
Brad.
Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, that goes for any expectation almost.
That's wrong.
Bro, if you tell her, if a woman
respected, it will be given.
Bro.
If the expectation is respected, it'll be given. But if the expectation is not respected, it will not be given. His expectations are not respected, and therefore will not be
his expectations, because his expectations are predatory. That's the difference. So hold on, sir. Please, Brad. I'm trying hard not to mute you, brother. Please don't. What I'm saying is, if a man, you're saying you're trying to compare a woman who expects a man to court her, right? Which seems fair to me. Expects a man who asks her out on a date to pay for it. You're trying to equate that to a man expecting her fucking body and saying, well, he can't even expect that. First of all, he can and they do. I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. He can and he does. You don't have to say what your expectation is for it to be your expectation. That's irrelevant. Men do expect women to have sex with them. They prove it all the time. They prove it in their reaction when a woman denies them. I'll take it. We'll go before that too. We'll go earlier than that too. Women are also expected to entertain men. And by entertainment, I mean if a woman if a man walks up to a woman, that man expects her to entertain him, to give him her number, to give him her attention. He expects that out of it. So there's way too many examples of this.
Because I'm not here for you to preach. Is it a man's expectation or a woman's expectation?
What do you mean you're not here? Nigga, you need to shut up and listen. I ain't preaching. I'm speaking.
No, I need you to do the exact thing that you're saying.
I'm listening to you. You saying stupid shit.
You're not listening at all. You're not listening at
I can repeat back to you everything you said to me.
You're listening to me under the guise of,
nope. Don't project.
Instead of listening to me in the guise
don't project. Don't project.
No,
that's you. That is you.
I'm listening exactly
okay.
What you're doing.
Nope.
So
don't project. You losing, and now you projecting. Don't do that.
Hear me out. Okay. A man puts his expectation into the world, and it is then forgotten because nobody respects it. Then a woman puts her expectation out into the world, and then it is promoted and pedestalized because now hear me out. A woman is right. A woman is right. Whatever she wants in this world, because she's the one doing basically the choosing in this situation. She's right. So whatever she wants is what is going to be pedestalized. At the end of the day, when she has a fantasy of what she wants, all her expectations, she can put those out into the world. And then if he does not meet up to it, he's nixed, which is fair. But if he does the same thing back to her, he is seen as a monster. And that's why I said women ruin most relationships due to the media, because the media feeds her a whole little orgasmic little reality.
You still haven't shown me how the media feeds them that. Secondly, you're not saying anything. You're literally, you haven't responded. Hold on, Brad. I just listened to you. Hold on. That was a terrible example. We already moved on beyond that. So wait. I'm not moving the goalposts. I'm not. Hold on. Okay. Now, again. Oh yeah, I knew you was gonna run. We should have known that was gonna happen. Miss Patrick said, I'm surprised the men haven't said the bear. The men don't know what the fuck they talking about. Teresa said media effects aren't real and he can't read. Drop. Miss Trueteller said women are a gift to men because we improve men's lives and birth their children. So why can't men treat women really good and take care of us in exchange? I don't get it. Because women can't have an expectation of men whatsoever, according to Bread. If they have an expectation of men, then they are the cause for the relationship dissolving and devolving. It doesn't make any sense. She expects the man to not cheat on her. That's her expectation. He cheats on her, it's her fault. Because she had that expectation that he shouldn't cheat. She has an expectation that if a man is spending time with her, he actually like her and not just want to use her for her body. If she finds out that all he was using it for was her body and or her labor and leaves him, that's her fault, because she should have never had an expectation to have a man in her life that actually liked her and didn't want to use her for her body and her labor. That's her bad, right? If Brad, get the fuck, you know what? You gonna get muted. You ran, you get to sit around and watch. You come up if you want to, but you don't get to run and be in the comments and get to yapping. You don't get to do that. Don't be no scary nigga. Don't be him. Bun Mistress said, having sex without protection equals planned. Teresa said, even the majority of unplanned pregnancies don't come from random acts of hunching. Does he know reading? Does his no reading ass know the majority of them are married? That's what I told him. The nigga was talking about that. I'm sitting there like, what is going on? Most people are having babies married. Like, what are we talking about? Miss Project said, having ABs been banned in some states, isn't that with the expectation that women will carry children to term come hell or high water? Damn, that's crazy, because that's a fact. That's a systemic. That's not just an expectation of one man or a few men. That's a systemic expectation of women that they need to carry, that they should carry babies to full term. Great point, Miss Poetrix. Bree Scott is saying, Brad brought up Disney. Most of the women are princesses. Aladdin was poor. Jasmine was rich. Ariel sacrificed her body for her prince. Drop him. He didn't know nothing about Disney. He know nothing about princesses. Teresa said, how the fuck does this apply to Cinderella? I don't know. He just heard that. So a lot of times what men like Brad do, they hear stuff that was said online by some random red pill dude, and then all of a sudden, stop pedestalizing guest running. Then they just start to regurgitate it. That's all he was doing. Who's Echo Chamber? I don't know who's there, but we're going to find out. Uh-huh. They never have an original thought. What about Meredith? I don't know who Meredith is. Who is this? The princess with the bear who decided not to have, I don't know who that is. Is that the red-haired girl from Brave? Her daddy was trying to sell her. Her daddy was trying to sell her off. Oh, my bad. Yeah, it would seem like that notion. If we wanted to believe for 1 second that the media was pushing this narrative to women, that women, that make women have this unrealistic expectation of men, then using 50 Shades of Grey was abysmal for that discussion. Like, that was crazy. Also, what the media, I do agree that the media brainwashes women. I do. I 1000% agree that the media brainwashes women. They brainwash women to have an expectation of men. And that expectation of men is below the dirt. It is below hell. It is below Hades. It is towards the center of the earth. And we all know we ain't ever been close to the center of the earth. It's very, 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 very much close to the center of the earth, right? 40,000 leagues below the sea type shit. Because what the media tells women, it says, hey, this is a good man. A good man is a man that is abusive, but not too abusive. Right? He's a man that can help you have kids, but not help you raise kids. He's a man that, yeah, he'll have misogyny, but boys will be boys. And you shouldn't really have the expectation to be with somebody that isn't misogynistic. You should just expect that every man that you're with is going to be misogynistic, right? Like that's what the media tells women. And I know that to be true because women still choose to deal with men. And it doesn't make any sense to me outside, if devoid of propaganda, why would women ever deal with men? Like if the media was actually teaching women about men, why would women deal with men ever? Like they would never deal with men if the media was actually telling the truth about men. Official Robbie Cash was good with you.
How you doing, bro? How's everything, man?
Good, fam.
That's good, man. Ruins most relationships. Do you think women leave relationships most?
I know they do.
Do you think it's because we're horrible, or do you think, like, why are they leaving,
Typically because we're horrible, yeah. Or they're unsatisfied because we're horrible, or they're unsatisfied because we're not satisfying them. If even if we're not horrible, we're not satisfying them. Yeah.
Right.
Somewhere around there.
I had a prompt the other day, and it was what do I personally wish that men could do better? And it was the one thing, if I had to start somewhere, is like just manipulating to get a desired outcome, and then as soon as we get it, tossing the person to the side. Like that, I wish we would stop doing. Be clear with our intentions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for you, like, I don't know if you have a list of stuff you wish men would stop doing. What would be that list for you?
I don't know. It's long. It depends on what we're talking about. You know what I mean? It depends. It honestly depends on what we're talking about. Are we talking about in relationships only? If we're talking about, you know what I mean? Like, depends. But yeah, it's a long list. But what do you feel about the prompt? Do you feel like who do you feel ruins most relationships?
I think women are quick to leave. I don't know if it's because of us, because I don't know the stats. I don't know the data.
Quick to leave? You think women are quick to leave?
Yeah, when there's contention, or when there's like maybe arguments, or maybe because they don't have the negative emotionality. It impacts them harder, I think. Like an argument, I'll give you an example. If I'm having a conversation with a lady, and let's say I'm saying things that's on my heart to say, right? And I try to be careful with my words. If at any point she's offended, she's very likely to shut down, walk away, not want to have the conversation. And versus, I think the man can have the conversation, in general. Well, I don't know. And I don't want to base it too much on how I am. I've taken my personal development seriously, so I don't want to make myself the center. But what have you seen? Do you think men can have honest conversations?
I don't. We're not proven to be able to do that right now with these conversations. The men are not able to have. I don't feel like I feel like what you just said is categorically false. I don't even know where to begin. Like, where are you getting that from? If you're basing it on your own personal experience, then I think even if you were doing that, you would probably be lying. But yeah, that's not true, right? Like, men. First of all, men don't really. You saying things that's on their heart. That's the problem with men, right there. That's a problem with men, is that we hardly ever actually say the things that are quote unquote on our hearts. We almost never do. Right? We're conditioned not to be honest with you. So I don't know where that comes from. I think because that would be called intimacy. Saying things on your heart would be a branch of intimacy. And we know men struggle with intimacy, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, saying that men are quicker to have these conversations, but who in a relationship or in these examples, who would be the ones to actually share with you a piece of their heart or what they actually were thinking? The man or the woman?
Definitely the man, because he's not scared of being unpolitically correct. You know what I mean? Like, he'll just say it, like, with no regard for how it might come.
No. I think you're missing. Just because men just because men are quick to be bigots doesn't mean that they say the things that's on their heart. They don't express. That's not an expression. Like saying that immigrants should go back to their country because they don't want to be politically correct, or talking about women be shopping and telling those types of stupid ass jokes about women. That doesn't mean that they actually are expressing themselves in any meaningful way. I'm saying, who will actually reveal to you the type of person they are through in a conversation? I'm talking about, like, actually speak to their heart, like say, like, this is what I'm feeling. These are the emotions I'm feeling, so on and so forth. This is how you're affecting me, whatever the case may be. Who is most likely to do that? A man or a woman?
I see what you mean. Wow. Like relationships. So like
in any context, friendships, intimate relationships, work environment, doesn't matter. In any context, who would actually say that? And also, who would bring that to you and it not be an attack? Like, it just be like, let's have the conversation. It won't be accusatory. It won't be them being like, hey, you really got to learn how to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it'll just be like, hey, I've been really thinking recently, right. Whatever. Who is more likely to do that?
I see what you mean. It might be the woman. I don't know.
It might be the no. Say what you think it is. If it ain't the woman, you can say, I don't think it's a woman. I think it's a man. That's fine.
Yeah, because I'm also trying not to be anecdotal and make myself the center, because I know there's a whole world out there.
Well,
you know what I mean? So
at this point, it's all anecdotal. I want you to tell me what you actually think. That's what I'm asking you for. I'm not asking you for a fact or a stat. I'm saying, what do you think?
I don't know. I think all right. So I'll just say, I think in general, men will be more honest with what they're thinking.
Okay. Now,
and the reason I think that, okay, is real quick. The reason I think that is because if the woman's thinking something that could be offensive, sometimes she might dance around it in a way where it's like, because she doesn't want to hurt the person, she's trying to safeguard their feelings, so try to deliver it in a manner. But then the person listener might not know where you're trying to get at with what you're saying, because you wasn't direct enough. Because men are more direct in general.
You think men are more direct? I don't think men are more direct either.
Not okay. Like a caveat. Not when we're trying to manipulate to get a desired outcome and then push them.
Okay, let's stay right there. Who is most likely to try to manipulate a woman? I mean, a person to get a desired outcome. Who's most likely to do that?
These some good questions, bro. I don't.
No, I feel like I think you're right. I think the thing that's happening is right now, it sounds like you know the answer if you're being honest to all of these questions, but you don't want to answer them because it goes against what you said, right? So just give the honest response. Because I just want you to know, you would be contradicting yourself if you said men, right? I'm sorry, if you said women, you would be contradicting yourself. Right? So you already have answered the question. I just wanted to see if you would be honest and actually answer the question. It's a litmus test. So can you answer the question honestly?
Who's more likely to manipulate?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like that.
Okay. So if now that you're not sure, when you first came in here and you said that you had a prompt up and you said that you wish men would stop being so manipulative, why would you make that prompt if you didn't believe that already about men?
Right. I do believe that. That's one thing I do wish that we would stop doing.
I know, but why would you wish that if men aren't actually being manipulative? If you don't know, right, why would you say men specifically, I wish we would stop being so manipulative? Why wouldn't you say people? I wish people would stop being so manipulative. You said men specifically. Why did you say men specifically?
Right. Because I know that's something that we do that,
but
because I thought about like things that we could change for the better, and what would be the number one thing for me. And I guess for me, that's where it started.
I got you. And why do you, my question is, again, why did you center men?
Right.
The reason why is because you know men manipulate significantly more than women. You know that. That's why you did that, right? And I think that's like a duh, right? Cool. We know that. Cool. We know men manipulate more than women. Like especially each other. Like who is most likely to try to manipulate the other person to, to get whatever desired outcome? It would categorically, overwhelmingly, it's men manipulating women. Right?
I don't know. I guess I'd have to do research more. You know what I mean?
But you haven't done any research on any of this stuff. So why are you saying you need to do more research? You haven't done any research whatsoever. None. Not a drop of research.
How would I get an unbiased answer to that? Like, what should I read, or what do you like?
But wait, I just want you to be honest about it. I'm trying to avoid using stats to prove my point all the time when we have this discussion. Because even when I use it, y'all don't care. So I need to appeal to your baser Nate. I need to appeal to your being more, to your feeling, you know what I mean, to your ego, whatever. I need to appeal to you. I can't do. You're not an analytical person, clearly. No shade, no tea, right? It's not about analytics. You wouldn't care if I told you that there's a study that proves that men lie more than women. I was like, here's the study, which I've read. You wouldn't be like, oh, now I believe men lie more than women. You wouldn't believe that, right? But my thing is, do you need a study? That's what I'm asking you. Do you actually need a study to prove that men lie more than women? Is that the thing you need to prove that men lie more than women?
I guess I'd try not to be incorrect,
But you don't try not to be incorrect, though. That's my point. You're trying very hard. You are intentionally trying to be incorrect right now. Intentionally. You already contradicted yourself. That's what I'm saying. So you're clearly trying to, you have like an agenda. I don't know what I know what it is, but I'm not going to say it. You clearly have an agenda, right? Because you won't answer the questions honestly, even though you started off by saying, I did a prompt the other day where I acknowledge that men are manipulative. So much so that's the number one thing I think we should stop doing. And then when I asked you, who do you think manipulates more, men or women? You took 37 business days to answer it and then came back with, I don't know. Like, nigga, you know the fucking answer is men. Like, come on, bro. Let's have a conversation for real.
Your debative skills are way better than mine too. Like,
I'm not even debating you. This is not a debate. I know. You and me are not having a debate right now. That's not what's going. Not in my mind. I don't think you and I are debating right now. I don't feel like that. It's not a debate, right? To me, it's not. It's just a conversation, and I'm just trying to push the conversation along. But it's hard to do so when I'm being honest and you're not. You know what I'm saying? Like now we're at an impasse because there's one person who like wants to play this game, and I don't. I just want to have the conversation, which would also prove in real time, even though we're both men, but it would prove to me how manipulative men are. Because you're trying to do it to me right now. You're trying to gaslight me right now. You're trying to lie to me right now. Like, it's weird. Like, why are you doing that? I don't know what the purpose of this. I don't know what you're getting out of this at this point. If you're not going to be honest, what's the point in having these conversations? You know what I'm saying? Like, I have all of these conversations honestly, right? So if I say something, it's what I said, it's what I meant. If you say something that's different, then fine. If you disagree, if you prove me wrong, fine. You prove me wrong or whatever. If you change my mind, you change my mind, sir. Thank you for changing my mind. I appreciate that. Why not? We're all here to grow. But if you have an agenda, if you want to, you know what I mean? Like if you have an agenda, that's different. What, you know what I'm saying? Like,
to be honest, bro, I guess some of my thoughts haven't been challenged. And then sometimes I sit on it and I'm just trying to answer carefully. And I'm just, you know what I mean?
But just answer honestly though. You just said men don't care. We don't care about being politically correct. Just answer it. Just answer the questions. So I'll ask you the question one more time. Who do you think is more manipulative towards one another, men or women? That's that odd pause again. It's crazy. That pause is odd, brother. I don't understand it.
Nah, because I swear to God, I'm really thinking about it. Like I'm really trying to play out scenarios in my head.
Okay, I'll give you a scenario. I'll give you a scenario.
Okay.
So let's say
Someone said he's buffering.
Don't read the comments, bro. They're gonna cook you every time. So let me say this. So let's say, what do women need to lie to men for? Like, let's start at the beginning. Do women have to lie to men to get a man to pay attention to her, to date her, anything like that, generally speaking?
Well, depending on how much money he got and his status, the body count.
Average man, average woman.
Okay. Average and average.
So most people.
Probably not. Absolutely not.
Right?
To get in a relationship, probably not.
To date a man, I ain't going to get in a relationship, but just to date a man. Like, if she was interested in a man and she found him to be attractive and she wanted to date him, if she went up to him, she could tell this nigga, my guy, she could tell that nigga she got 3 kids, she got a husband at home. It don't matter. Most niggas is jumping still based on attraction, right? So just because he gonna be happy that he getting some attention, because women don't typically do that, right? Okay. So we know that women don't need to lie to men to get our attention. They don't got to. They don't got to lie to us to get in a relationship. They don't have to lie whatsoever. Okay. Flip that around. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Do men typically lie to get women? Is that something that every or most men have done? Most men have done in their lifetime?
Yeah, hyping up status they don't have, money they don't have, situation.
Whatever it is, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So
I see that.
Okay. So let me ask you the question again. Who is more manipulative, men or women?
Men.
Okay. See, that's how I came to that conclusion. It's fairly easy, right? So men are more manipulative. When you say women leave relationships fast. I don't think women leave relationships fast. I think the opposite.
You think we leave fast?
No, I think women. I think if you were right, women would not get abused as much. If women left the relationships as fast as you just said they did, they would almost never get abused, because they would leave at the quote unquote first red flag, right? As soon as he agitated her or aggravated her or, made her feel uneasy or whatever, she would leave. Instead, they don't. Instead, they give men grace. They give you a pass. They give you another pass. They give you another pass. They give you another pass. They give you another. Because the expectations for men are extremely low. So I'm not seeing where women are leaving men fast. If they did, that would help them if they did.
If I'm being honest, I guess I looked at that stat, 70 to 80% divorce rate
are initiated by women. Yeah. That's just, they just filed the paperwork.
Maybe I made up a story in my mind about what that could imply. So
yeah, it's like 65% are initiated by women. It goes even higher for educated women though. But yeah, that would prove that it is rooted in in the behavior of the men in the relationship though. Right?
Isn't it based on like money? Is it based on money, abuse, and what is?
I'm saying it would be based on the behavior of the men in the relationship. Yeah. So I've done this a million times, but like if you were working a job and the job paid you well and treated you nice and was respectful and gave you promotions when you needed them and all of that stuff, would you quit the job?
Oh, if I had all these benefits, no.
No, right? Okay, cool. So if the job was treating you right, you wouldn't quit the job.
Nah, yeah, if the pay's good, benefits, yeah.
Yeah. Same thing with a relationship.
Do you think who's more likely to think the grass is greener on the other side?
Men.
You think women, because they have the optionality that they have?
I don't even know what optionality means, but it would be men, because men prove it. Men cheat more. Men are constantly thinking the grass is greener on the other side.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Once again, where is that? What does that mean? Optionality? Because because they have a lot of options proves how, to me, it proves how faithful women are, because men men have to go out of their way to cheat. Because ain't no woman coming up to you talking about, I just want to slurp on your, slob on your knob. Like that shit is not fucking happening for the vast majority of men, right? So you have to go out of your way to cheat. A woman is getting even though whatever regular woman you can think of, she got 100 niggas ready to hunt her at any given time. Don't let it. All the woman got to do is go to the gas station and she can find another nigga. That's all she got to do. Pull up, hop out the car, walk inside, pay for her gas. And by the time she come out, she got 2-3 new suitors. That's on the average day for the average woman, right? Let alone, we're not even talking about online. We're not going to talk about the women that actually post pictures online. If your girl posts a picture online, she got 1,000 motherfuckers waiting in the wings. I don't even care if they comment or not. They waiting, they looking. It's 1,000 niggas that have seen that picture. They waiting. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not understanding what do you mean by this optionality? Like women prove every day that they are the group with the most integrity, just by sheer numbers. Like imagine a man every day. Imagine if a man got hit up every week by a woman, not by a bunch of women, by a woman, just one woman a week. How long do you think it would take for an average man to fold if he was in a relationship?
Less than a month.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe a week.
Maybe a week. That's the first one. That's what I'm saying. You talk about by the fourth solicitation, the nigga gonna fold, and I agree. The average man, married, with kids, got a mortgage, got a commit, you know what I'm saying, been with this girl for 10 years, that nigga gonna fold. The average man gonna fold. For real. Nah. Unmute motivational. He up here. He could tap. I'm gonna bring him in too, because maybe he got something to say. He been disagreeing, Robbie. Maybe he could make a point for you. Go ahead, motivational.
What's up, man? What's good with you?
I'm chilling. Nia said, official, come to the conclusion faster, sir. That's what they want you to do. Go ahead. Go ahead, brother. Yeah, man. It's all right. You be thinking.
So what specific questions did you have? I heard you ask Robbie a couple questions. So
I don't have a specific question for you. You were just saying a lot. You were disagreeing, so you could start off wherever you disagree with. That's fine.
Absolutely. So you're trying to say that women are more faithful in relationships, right?
Well, they are. I'm not trying to say that they are more faithful.
So what are you trying? Again, you were trying to say that women are more faithful in relationships. That women could not cheat as nearly as much as men. That men cheat at a higher rate than women. That's not accurate. Women are just more careful about how they cheat when they cheat. That's why they don't get caught like men do. Men, they don't think about things. Not all men, but the majority of men. I'm not saying it's okay to cheat. Please be clear. I believe faithfulness to your wife is extremely important, but I live in reality, not some playful imaginary land. I understand.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
You live in an imaginary world. What you just said doesn't exist in the real world.
The funny thing is, since we have different perspectives, what you try to do, you try to put someone into a corner to get to.
I'm not putting you in a corner.
In your perspective.
No.
And I'm not gonna agree.
Motivational. Hold on, brother.
Your perspective is not correct, sir.
Once again, what I said, and this is what I wanted to be clear. I didn't tell you what my perspective was. I'm talking about as far as like who cheats more, men or women, that's not my perspective. That's reality. That's statistically proven, right? In every fucking study, that's what the numbers have come out to say, that men cheat more, right? I think even with the studies, because the studies don't track who gets caught. And that's what you're saying. Once again, like I said earlier about the other gentleman, Brad, what men hear stuff from other men and then they regurgitate it without actually thinking it through. Because when you look at any of the studies, they ask the people themselves, it's a self-reported study. Have you ever cheated? And then the people say, yes, I have, or no, I haven't. So they don't really have a reason to lie because it ain't like anybody's going to find out. It's anonymous, right? That's how studies are conducted, right? So cool. Over the fucking 40 years of conducting this study, men have been figured out. It has been found out that men cheat exponentially more than women, right? Forever. It's not a new thing. Everybody knows this is not debatable. Now, there is a talking point that a lot of misinformed men like to push, which is women just don't get caught as much, which has nothing to do with the rate of cheating. Not the rate of getting caught and the rate of getting caught would have something to do with one another. The rate of cheating, it's not. If this is what I'm saying. Before you listen to respond, listen to what I'm saying. When they do the analysis, they ask the people, did you cheat? What the fuck does it have to do with getting caught? It has nothing to do with getting caught. They'll come to you. They'll come to me. They'll come to Robbie. They'll say, motivational, have you ever cheated? You'll say no. Robbie will say no. I'll say yes. That counts as one man who cheated, two men who didn't. They'll ask three women the same fucking thing. Did you cheat? Did you cheat? Did you cheat? Yes, no, no. Same thing. 1, 2, 2. Cool. That is how it is tallied up. They do not ask them, have you been caught? And then they go, no, I never been caught. Well, that doesn't count as cheating. That's not how it's done. So before you respond again with that same old talking point, keep that in mind. Now go ahead. I want to hear what you have to say.
So first of all, I really like how you tried to assume I'm misinformed. Brother, I know you think you're the only one that study, but you are not the only one that study. You are not the only one that looks up information and makes sure that you know what you're talking on and what you're speaking on. So one, I'm not misinformed. That the fact you made an assumption, that's your right to make that assumption, but it doesn't mean I'm misinformed. I simply have a different perspective because I know what is true.
And where are you basing this on?
The reality we live in.
Okay. And where you and motivational. But I don't care about that little speech, but that you gave it. Now, can you actually tell us how did you come to that conclusion? And I might even ask you to cite a source. Did you actually source that, or is that your perspective?
Yes, I sourced it.
Okay. You sourced it.
You look at human nature, bro.
Hold on. That's not, see, you hold on. You're pivoting. I asked you, did you source it? Meaning, did you read a study on it? That's all I'm asking you.
Yes, I read.
Oh, you read a study that says that women cheat more.
I didn't say, hold on. I never said women cheat more.
You did say that.
Women cheat as much. No, I said.
Now you about to move. Now you about to pivot, but it don't matter.
Brother,
Go ahead.
No, brother, you put words in my mouth. I did not.
I haven't put anything in your mouth. No, did he?
I said women cheated as much as men. That's two separate things, brother. Don't try to put words in my mouth.
Okay. All right. Let's I'm tired of playing with y'all. You fucking gaslighters. You guys are really annoying. So we're gonna go. You're gonna do this.
And if you're gonna find a source that agrees with your talking point and your perspective, there's always sources out there that agree with people's specific talking points and perspectives, and their opposite perspectives. That's a fact.
Hold on. Hold on. We gonna do this in real time. Cause I like to do this in real time when I can. This is gonna be good. All right, we gonna see. We gonna find out right now. Okay. I can't wait to do this. I love these experiments. These are always fun. Let's do this. All right, you guys ready? Let's hear it. Let's see what happened. All right. I'm not trying to say that they are more faithful.
So what are you trying again? You're trying to say women are more faithful in relationships. That women could not cheat as nearly as much as men. That men cheat at a higher rate than women. That's not accurate. Women are just more careful about how they cheat when they cheat. That's why they don't get caught like men do. Men, they don't think about things. Not all men, but the majority of men. I'm not saying it's okay to cheat. Please be clear. I believe faithfulness to your wife is extremely important. But I live in reality, not some playful imaginary land. I understand.
Yeah, you do.
That no, I
you live in an imaginary world. What you just said doesn't exist in the real world.
But the funny thing is, since we have different perspectives, what you try to do, you try to put someone into a corner to get to.
I'm not putting you in the corner.
In your perspective.
No.
And I'm not gonna agree.
Motivational. Hold on, brother.
Your perspective is not correct, sir.
I'm not. I don't. Once again, what I said, and this is what I. So motivational. When did you say that women cheated just as much as men?
Okay.
I'm dead serious. When did you say it? Because I didn't hear it.
I said that before that part.
Okay, before that part. Let's go back. We'll go back further.
Before that part.
Okay. Just one woman a week. How long do you think it would take for an average man to fold if he was in a relationship? By the fourth solicitation, the kids got a mortgage, got to commit, you know what I'm saying? Bring him in too, because maybe he got something to say. He's been disagreeing, Robbie. Maybe he could make a point for you. Go ahead, motivational.
What's up, man? What's good with you?
I'm telling Nia said, official, come to the conclusion faster, sir. That's what they want you to do. Go ahead. Go ahead, brother. Yeah, man. It's all right. You be thinking.
So what specific questions did you have? I heard you ask Robbie a couple questions. So,
I don't have a specific question for you. You were just saying a lot. You were disagreeing, so you could start off wherever you disagree with. That's fine.
Absolutely. So you're trying to say that women are more faithful in relationships, right?
Well, they are. I'm not trying to say that they are more faithful.
So you were trying to say women are more faithful in relationships, that women could not cheat as nearly as much as men, that men cheat at a higher rate than women. That's not accurate. Women are just more careful about how they cheat when they cheat. That's why they don't get caught like men do. Men, they don't think about things. Not all men, but the majority of men. I'm not saying it's okay to cheat. Please be clear. I believe.
So that's where. So you never said it, right?
But listen to what I said.
I didn't know. I'm hearing you. So you didn't specify.
No, what I said specifically, you suggested that women do not cheat as much as men. I said you was incorrect. So that statement in itself, I was saying that men cheat as much as that women cheat as much as men.
I said men cheat at a higher rate. That's why, to me, it implied that you thought women cheated at a higher rate than men. But motivational. I'm motivational. Listen. I'm not arguing with you. I'm saying, cool. You weren't specific. You meant they cheat the same, which either way, it don't fucking matter because they don't. But I'm just saying, I hear you. Like, I'm not even going to argue with you because you didn't specify one way or the other. You didn't say they cheat more and you didn't say they cheat the same. You see what I'm saying? In the context in which we were having the conversation, though, it was implied because of what I was saying and you responded to what I was saying. It sounded like you were saying, no, they actually cheat more. Got you. You weren't, that's not what you were saying. Got you, right? Now we all on the same page? Okay. See what I'm saying? So instead of, I like to do it when we can do it. I can do this more often. I just don't like to stop the whole live to do this. Mia said 10 on motivation for being misinformed. Go ahead, brother. We listening. Now I want to know. Therese. Oh man. We did it, Joe. I didn't even get that. Oh my God. God damn it. Oh man, Teresa said, how the fuck does this apply? Oh no, we already read that one. She said, Teresa said, men cheat at a higher rate and black men the most. Yeah, exactly. God damn. Okay, go ahead, Robbie. We're almost there now. I think our conversation was more interesting anyway. I ain't gonna even lie.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I came here to learn, man, because like I do want to be the best man I could be, you know what I mean? So, and just to have honest conversations. Yeah, sometimes I don't know, I might buffer a little bit, or I might, because so like it's not often you get challenged deeply on something, you know what I mean? And sometimes you think you believe something, you're like, well, damn, do I actually believe that? You know what I mean? So find yourself backpedaling a little bit. So yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with with changing what you think in real time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Hey, James Oko, you can come up, brother. I like your suit and your bald head, man, and your picture. That's nice. That's a good combination. That suit, bald head combination, that shit always gonna win, man. Suit with a bald head, that shit always gonna be wild decent. I like it. So I see
he got booted because someone dropped 50 on that, right? That's why?
Yeah. Somebody paid to clip him. All this echo chamber, except I literally invite up people who disagree with me on purpose. I got people who agree with me. I just don't, it's that conversation. I don't like to have that. I don't really like echo chambers, to be honest with you. I don't like having conversations with people that think like me on this live. I can do it in different spaces, but it gets boring really fast. So now we have gotten to this place that you might be starting to understand what I'm saying as far as like men ruin relationships significantly more than women. Beyond every study and every logical, reason behind it, it is obvious that men ruin relationships more than women, right? Like you think of the things, like think of the ways in which relationships end.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people, I've seen a lot of men, they put up this crazy like behavior, and sometimes they think the woman just should be accepting of that. You know what I mean? Regardless of like how it might make her feel and stuff. Like I'll give you an example. Like I got a friend who, his wife sleeps in a separate room when she's pissed off from him, and he thinks, well, that's my wife. She shouldn't do that to me. And I wish I could have honest conversations with him on what he's doing that makes her want to go upstairs and sleep in a separate bedroom away from him. Because all he knows how to repeat is how it should or shouldn't be. Doesn't really know how to adapt to the situation. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Which I think men should be adaptable, stoic, and just accept life for what it is instead of idealistically saying it should or shouldn't be that way. That disables your ability to be able to adapt. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, like,
what is stoicism? Christina Lewis said, one man can never come up without gaslighting. What is stoicism? Why do you think men should be stoic?
Just to be neutral, just to be because if you're idealistic, you're gonna say, oh, it should be this way, it shouldn't be that way, and then it's just the lag time between when you adapt to reality and when you finally do. It's just
what is stoicism? What is stoicism?
It's a serenity prayer, which is, God, teach me what I could control, what I can't control, the wisdom to know the difference between the two. That by itself.
What is the actual definition of stoicism? What is it? Or to be stoic?
To me, it's that. I looked up the definition before, but I forgot the meaning. But I remember associating the meaning with the serenity prayer.
The reason why I'm asking you, and I'm just saying, the reason why I'm saying that is because when you just tried the way in which you just tried to apply it, it wasn't applicable. It didn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, what do you mean being stoic? But besides that, why do men need to be stoic? Because it's not
to accept things for how, right? Except to accept things for how they are.
But that's not stoicism, though. That's not stoicism. Stoicism teaches you how to suppress your feelings and emotions. Essentially, that's like one of the core functions of stoicism. You think that that's healthy?
In a way where you implode and it's like really bad for you. You mean?
I mean, when is that healthy?
Maybe on the battlefield, I guess.
That's about it, right? And I would agree with you. Maybe that's about it. Battlefield, boxing ring, football field, basketball court. You know what I'm saying? Even then, I use my emotions all the time when I play football and basketball and ran track. I use my emotions all the time, right? Now you have to harness them. You have to use them in a healthy way, but I use my shit. When we would play against a team and it was, dude, when I used to play against my friends, like I remember in the 9th grade, I played for another school and like all my friends played at this other school and I went to a different school. But when I played them, I was like, oh, I'm about to kill him. Like I was so hyped. Like I was like, I gotta, you know what I mean? Like I'm going for 30. Like I gotta kill, yeah, I use my emotions to make me play better or hype me up or whatever the case may be. I didn't want to get too out of myself. I wanted to, you know what I'm saying? I wanted I wanted to play within myself, but I definitely use my emotions. So I'm not understanding like when, like when is that healthy? Roll. You can come up. I'm gonna mute you for the live. But
I guess, yeah.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Like when men get upset and punch holes in walls, it's like, I guess that, like, you know what I mean? Like they shouldn't do that. Like,
I agree with that.
Express their anger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they could talk it out. They don't have to punch stuff all the time. You know what I mean?
I agree.
I'm not saying we all do
that.
But just
is there a way? Do you think that men do you know why men react that way when they are upset? I mean, what emotions do you typically see men express?
Yeah, anger, I would say. And if I could speak anecdotally, those people in my household, two of them that I didn't particularly look up to, that were men. And I remember I tried to stay far the hell away from their personality type. I didn't want to embody anything that they are because they were super mad all the time. Yeah. And to the point where now I actually struggle to be upset, and maybe the anger could be a useful emotion, but I don't know. I think it's an overused emotion as well, just in general, not even just on some man stuff, but just in general.
I agree. Yeah. So men typically express themselves through anger, which I agree. So, men are taught to be stoic aside from anger, which is unhealthy. Like they allow you to be angry as a man, but they don't allow you to be anything else. They don't allow you to be sensitive. They don't allow you, like you remember that trend? It was like Black Boy Joy, and it was like men like frolicking in tall grass and like picking flowers and shit like that. Like they don't allow men to do stuff like that in society, especially black men. But like, because we're like hyper masculated, you know what I'm saying? Like black men are the most, that's why I think it's funny that when I hear black men talking about how they want to emasculate the black man, I'm like, no, they don't want to do that. If they emasculated us, they would actually humanize us by emasculating us. They don't really do that. They make us hyper masculine. We're extremely masculine in the media, extremely masculine. We're the definition of hyper masculinity, right? But white men, so if you look it up, I read this a long ass time ago. My wife had put me onto it. But if you study media, like black men are like, they're like the what's it called? They're like the porridge in Little Red Riding Hood, or no, not Little Red Riding, whenever she went over there, she ate the porridge or whatever. I can't remember the show, the book, but it was like one was hot, one was cold, and one was just right. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So black men are like, if we, what I'm saying, Goldilocks. Yeah, that's the one, Goldilocks. So black men are too hot because we're hyper, super duper masculine, right? And then Asian men are super duper, like they make Asian men like very effeminate, like they're very, very effeminate in the media, right? And white men are the perfect representation of what a man should be like, right? White men are always, I won't say, I'm sorry, well, not always, but overall.
You mean how it's depicted in media? Or
yeah, I'm saying how it's depicted in the media. It's like black men are depicted as like super duper masculine. Like we never express ourselves. We hardly ever cry. You know what I mean? Like you never see us raising our families. Like, you know what I mean? Like all this stuff, you see us being hyper violent, having a bunch of sex. That's all we do. Right. Cool. And then Asian men, they never get the girl. You know what I mean? They're always like somebody's sidekick. They're always like, like they can, they'll be violent. Like they can do martial arts, but they're not violent. If that makes sense. It's really weird how it's really weird how they pull it off, making Asian men like super violent, but also not appear to be violent. Like they're super duper nice still in the movies. You're like, oh, Jackie Chan is dope. Jackie Chan done whooped 30 motherfuckers' asses in the last 15 minutes. He done chopped off heads and all this stuff. Jet Li done kicked the nigga neck off his shoulders. And he still is like running around holding Aaliyah's hand. You know what I'm saying? And you like, oh, like you kind of find yourself rooting at the end of that movie. Like, does she like him? And they never kiss or nothing. They just seem like good friends. You know what I'm saying? White man, if that was a white man, he would have hunched the hell out of Aaliyah. at the end of that movie. It would have hunched the hell out of Aaliyah at the end of that movie. If that was goddamn what's his name? What's my nigga name? If that was Idris Elba would have slammed dunked her vagina in that movie. 1,000%. A black man, oh my God. It would have happened in the first 5 minutes. They would have had to work backwards from there. They'd have to work backwards after he smashed. Now he's like protecting her and shit like that. Like, you would have hunched her in the first 10 minutes of the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how they do us. Right? So I get it. They make men, but overall, they don't really show men actually ever be intimate, right? They really don't. Like, we're never white, black, Asian, don't matter. They don't really show any of us being intimate. Any of us. But
oh wow, I never thought about that.
Yeah, we're not, we lay down with women. We lay down with women. We bed women in the movies, but we're not really intimate. We're not really intimate with women. We don't really express our feelings. But if a man is sensitive in a movie or a show or in media, he will undoubtedly be white. like 99% of the time. If that man exists in media or in the movies, 99% of the time, it's going to be a white man. It's going to be a white man. I'm saying somebody said they're gay. I'm saying if it's a heterosexual man, it's going to be a cishet white man. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Half the time, and most of the time when it's a sensitive man, he's unattractive. He's ugly. He's overweight. Nobody likes him. For like physically, I'm saying, right? But he's a nice guy. He's sweet. He's in touch with his feminine side. All the girls, you know what I mean? Like that's how they do men. They don't really give men the space to be human in media. And the only thing we get fucking Die Hard and shit and Die Harder, and it's a good time to die hard, and everybody want to be Bruce Willis, and everybody want to be Jackie Chan, and everybody, you know what I mean? Like that's what ends up. That's how it ends up being. Yeah, Jack Black in The Holiday. I'm about to watch that movie, by the way. I love all the Christmas rom-coms. I watch all of them. I'm a rom-com. You already know. I'm a Christmas rom-com. You know, I'm gonna watch the hell out of that shit. James Oko, I didn't know you was up here, brother. Where you at? He in the box, but you ain't up here. I wanted to let you up. But yeah. Go ahead.
My bad. I was going to ask, how do you think men should navigate the world? Should we do it based on stats, or should we ignore the stats and think that we could be exceptions to the rule?
Say it again. You said, should we ignore the stats and be the exceptions to the rule?
Yeah, like for example, like when I studied the top 5 to 10 reasons that women divorce, like I'm studying it because I don't want to be a statistic. You know what I mean? If I get married, I'm trying to keep my marriage. So it's like, okay, people divorce for these reasons. So let me make sure that I'm not that. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, to me, I don't really focus on doing things. I stopped focusing on things that make my wife happy, if that makes sense. Like, I don't really do the things that, like, I don't try to do stuff that makes my wife happy. That's not, when I say that, I'm saying like, what I do is I try to change how I view the world, and I try to change how I view myself. And when I do that, I naturally start to do the things that make my wife happy. You know what I mean? Like, as opposed to me being like, oh, my wife wants me to wash the dishes, I'm just going to start washing the dishes, right? And mind you, in real time, sometimes you do just got to do the thing. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not, you know, there'll come a time when like, you will just have to do the shit. Like, she'll be like, I need for you to fucking do like wash the dishes every day. You just like, cool. So you just got to start washing dishes. But I'm saying, like, when I actually am doing the work on myself, I'm not thinking about like, will this keep my relationship together? Will this, you know what I'm saying? Like, is this the thing that's going to make her like, I'm not doing that. I'm like, what do I need to do to be the best human being I possibly can be? Right? How can I be the best human being that I possibly can be? And then once I start doing that, I instantly start to see her as a human being, and I start to want to treat her like a human being. So when I see her struggling, I jump up. That was early on. Now I don't wait to see her struggling. As soon as I see she walking towards something, I'm right behind her. As soon as I hear something, I'm jumping up in front of her now. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not waiting for her to like give me that look or come in the room and be, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like I hear, hey, my son's is tripping. I'm already, I hear her stomping upstairs. I'm running up, but I'm trying to beat her. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to beat her. Hey, calm down with that shit down. You know what I mean? Like, hey, stop that shit. You know what I'm saying? Or when I'm trying to put myself in and think about her when, like, if I see, like, there are things that don't bother me, but I know will bother her. I'm like, she don't like that. Like, I don't be tripping. I don't be tripping off of that. I don't be worried about that. Like, that ain't something that I'm worried about. But I know my wife, she don't like that shit. You know what I'm saying? So let me work on that. You know, and I start working on that shit. That's the type of time I be on. But initially, oh, go ahead. I'm listening.
You go first. What's up? Initially?
No, I was saying initially I was just doing shit that I felt like, you know, like I'm just trying to pacify my wife. Like that was typically my approach. It was like, you know, she'd be like, we need to talk more. And I'll be like, okay. And then I'll be like, okay, well, I talked to her yesterday and I talked to her today. And, and you know what I mean? As opposed to like, but once you see your partner as a human being, you want to talk to them. You think they're interesting. You think you want to hear about their day and what was the peak and the pit of your day. Oh man, the peak was when, you know, Shelly bought the office coffee, and the pit was when I had to be on this trash ass call or whatever with corporate. And oh damn, that shit was, what were they talking about? Man, you know, they talking about next year we're not gonna get our Christmas bonuses, you know what I mean? Whatever. And you just, damn, that's crazy. And you genuinely care about what they talking about. It goes a long way, as opposed to it being like, look, you sitting there the whole time, like, well, I can't wait till the motherfucker shut the fuck up so I can go watch the game or so I can go do whatever the fuck I want to do. You know?
When men say they want submission, you think they want blind compliance?
Yes. They want to not be challenged.
Oh, what? Sorry.
They want to not be challenged.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like for me personally, like I want cooperation, but I feel like if my ideas are batshit crazy, I'd like to be told that. Like let's you know, if you see holes in my plan, let me know. We discuss it together.
Yeah.
But most men don't want that. You think?
No, most men don't want that because there'd be a lot of holes in your plans. What nigga want to hear your plan is trash? Most of the plans men come up with on their own be trash, nigga. Like, let's just be honest. Shit, that's why married men are more successful than single men. Because the married man, he got the woman helping him out with his plan. You know what I'm saying? What Drake say? God's plan. Your woman like God, nigga, and that she gonna come down and give you the, you know what I'm saying? She gonna, you know, if your woman don't, if your woman, my wife be looking over my plans, drinking her coffee, eating her cookies and shit like.
You could be right, because I ain't gonna lie, I lost $30,000 gambling, so. Yeah, so I know. I'm reflecting on what you said when you make your own plan. So I made some pretty bad plans.
What? Gambling on what? Where? At what casino? You was online?
I was on Bovada.
You was playing poker? What was you playing?
Nah, I was playing Baccarat.
You playing Baccarat? Oh, you thought you were Drizzy for real. See, you up in Canada. Crody, don't do that shit, Crody. You was cheesing, fam. What are you doing? That's crazy.
Yeah.
You was tripping, bro. Hey, that nigga said he lost 30,000 racks. Yeah. On one hand?
No. I lost 1,030 times.
And that nigga didn't know when to quit. How you lose 30 times? How you lose 30 times? God damn, that's crazy.
It's bad. I know, bro. And it's just
oh my God. Oh my God, bro. That shit crazy. I ain't never lost 30. Nigga, I played over 2,000 games of Madden in my life. I ain't never lost 30 times to nobody. I would have been quit playing that nigga. I'd have been quit playing that nigga. Nigga beat me 3 times in a row. I'm done. We done. Nigga said he lost 30. Oh my God. I was hoping you lost like 10. Oh, I'm sorry, bro.
You would would say women are good at talking us out of shit like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely, they are. Shit. My wife, hey man. Yeah, bro. Never in life. Never in life. I'm so, oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah, I took some L's, bro. Like, but yeah.
Hey, real quick, hold on. Stay with me, man. I got James Oko, man. What's good with you, man? I see you in there. James, you good? Where you at, family?
Yeah, what's up with you, homie?
I'm chilling, man. What you said you wanted some advice? You about to start a podcast bashing me? What advice you need?
He said 30,000 on Baccarat. That's crazy. Yeah, I like what you do, brother. I really do, And I think I checked out your channel a couple days ago. I think you're a sharp brother. You're intellectual, But yeah, I just think in general, I think it's money to be made in this, and I've been thinking about starting a page myself, where just to, bash men and just, make women feel like they're right and, give me some super chats, do me some live streams. I mean, I know, you're not as bad as most. You're a little nuanced and I don't have an issue with you. I don't like coming up on people's pages and trolling them or disrespecting them. So it ain't nothing like that. But I just feel like, I feel like women ruin more relationships, with the divorce rate and their home wreckers. They wreck their own homes. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Fear, yeah.
How do women wreck their own homes?
By leaving a good man when you have kids with that man because you have a fear of missing out.
Yeah, why would any woman leave a good man?
Because she thinks she can do better. Because she bored. Yeah, yeah. Because she bored. That's all it takes. It don't take much. She bored.
But logically, that doesn't make sense, though.
Brother, I came out my house this morning and I saw somebody doing cartwheels across the street. It's not logical, but it's happening, right?
If niggas on drugs, that's what they do.
Yeah, I know. Everything in the world ain't logical, bro.
I'm just saying, but wait, I want to go back a little bit. First of all, if you want me, I'll give you a suggestion. If you want to make money, right? Well, two things. A, to be in this space, you have to be somewhat educated. Like on the, you know what I mean? It's hard. I know of men who grift in this space, I would say. I don't know that one guy's name. Oh my
Derek
God.
Jackson. FD Signifier.
No, FD Signifier definitely don't grift. That nigga is fucking thorough. Derek Jackson. Derek Jackson would be more of a grifter, but I don't think Derek Jackson is a grifter per se because I don't think he doesn't believe the stuff he's saying, and I do think that the majority of the stuff, or a lot of the stuff that he said, was true. I think a lot of the stuff he said was true. Because he just
doesn't live it.
He doesn't live it, so I wouldn't call him a grifter. I don't think that makes him a grifter.
But if you don't live it though, and you come up here and you talk about it to tell women this is what a man should be like, but you're not that man, and you're receiving money from those women, how can you come to terms? How do you come to terms with that for like a Derek Jackson type of person in your head?
I think it's fairly easy because you're not doing any harm to anybody. So what is the like? Who are you harming?
Well,
you know what I mean?
Let me ask you this, right? Okay, so we'll use an example, right? Let's say that you have an obese person, right? And they have a problem with eating, right? Now, let's say you have friends around them, right? And they call themselves their friends, right? But they're afraid to tell that person, hey, brother, your blood pressure is high. You might lose a leg to this, gout, hypertension, heart failure, whatever. And that person, the friends around that person won't tell that person the truth out of fear of hurting that person's feelings. So they might get money from that person. That person might be helping them in some way. But actually somebody else comes up outside of the group and tells that person, hey, brother, you need to lose some weight and you're fat. Now, people might not like that person.
But James, in your analogy, here's what I'm saying. Here's what's wrong with the analogy already. Derrick Jackson actually was telling the truth a lot of times. He was living proof. How you gonna say he wasn't telling the truth? He was the nigga he was talking about. Of course he was telling the truth. You see what I'm saying? For your analogy to work or to apply to a man like Derrick Jackson or to those types of men, what they are saying, it's not who they are. It's about, like I said, was Derrick Jackson lying? Was he hurting anybody? No.
Yeah,
He was.
yes.
I'm saying he wasn't. No,
Yes,
he
he
wasn't.
was. Yes, he was. Because the person that he's hurting is the
He was hurting his
woman that's
wife.
actually
He
okay.
was
The
hurting his wife.
person that his first off his wife. So
Yeah,
that's a
he was
woman
hurting
right
his wife.
there.
I'm talking
Right,
about, but
right.
I mean, like as a group, who was he hurting though? Like as you know, what I mean,
Okay,
like
as a group, when you have a group of people and those people have something that they need to change, they want to achieve something. They want a man, but they're wondering why they can't get a man. And if you're constantly telling that woman that it's everything to do outside of her, why she can't get a man and not her, and 5 years later, you're still happily married and you're great and she's single because you didn't tell her what she actually needed to hear, that is hurting her. Like, that is hurting her. Now,
oh,
you
wait,
might, yeah, that's hurting her.
but James, that's not what was going on. You're making an assumption that all of these women wanted to get a man. I disagree with that. Secondly, and even in this scenario, the women who avoid men aren't being hurt. Like at the end of the day, they're not being hurt by that. They're more like, you know what I'm saying? Like because men to women is like a lion to a mouse. It's like you could, like, I just saw a video today of a lion in a cage with two Dachshunds, and he missed the Dachshunds, and the Dachshunds was licking his teeth, and he was like gnawing at him, and they were great friends, right? But 99% of the time, a lion is going to eat two Dachshunds, right? The majority of the time, those Dachshunds are in danger, are in danger if they are around a lion. That is what women are around men. They are in danger when they are around men, whether it be physical or emotional. The overwhelming majority of women are in danger the closer they get to men. So even if he was keeping women away from men by quote unquote lying to them, he still did them a service, because at least them women didn't end up getting abused. At least they didn't end up getting cheated on, like he cheated on his wife.
Yeah, you're good point. You know what? You said women are in danger. Let me ask you this, brother. Do you believe women are equal to men?
No.
You don't. You believe that men are better leaders than women and should have authority over women?
Those are two different questions. And no.
Oh, you don't believe that?
You asked me, do I think women are equal to men? I said no. And then you said, so I believe that men should lead women? Like, what the hell?
Okay.
Those are two different things.
Okay. Well, let me put it like this to you. Me as a man, right?
Men what?
Me being a man, I don't believe that I can live in this world and never be exposed to violence. I don't know what child like mine, what adult man thinks that way, that he can live in a world and there's never going to be any violence or any harm or anything that happens to you. I'm not naive to believe that this world operates on power and dominance. Nothing is ever achieved without violence.
James, when was the last time you were violently attacked by somebody? And when was the last time you violently attacked somebody?
The last time I was violently attacked by somebody was probably about 2009.
Okay, so
Maybe
15.
before that. I have to think about it. Maybe
It's been a long time. And how old are you?
I'm 40.
You're 40. I'm 42. Okay. So the last time I got into a physical altercation, I was in my mid-20s. So that's over about 17 years ago. That was the last time. When you say, so the vast majority of my life, I have been living in relative peace.
Oh, wait,
so what
I'm sorry.
I can't have
it. No, I apologize. I'm actually wrong. I was attacked by a woman. I was attacked. My girlfriend pulled a knife on me. Like,
because you were cheating on her. But here's the thing. I don't even want to use that as an example, because that wouldn't be what I would be talking about. I'm saying that you and me know that we're more than likely, I'm going to die not ever experiencing another act of violence. I'm 42. I'm
I
not,
hope
you know
so.
what I mean?
I hope
I'm
so.
more beyond hope. I'm saying more than likely, the odds are not what I hope. The odds are I'm not going to experience another act of violence in my life. I'm not going to be violent with anybody, and nobody's going to be violent with me. That's what the odds say. The lifestyle I lead, where I live, you know, so on and so forth, who I am as a person, highly unlikely unless I start boxing again or I start doing MMA again type shit. Fine, right? But if I just live the rest of my life and I don't engage and I don't, what the fuck? It ain't gonna never happen. More than likely, right?
Can you say that definitively though? And then another thing, let me ask you something.
Definitively, I just said overwhelmingly though, the odds are in my favor that I will never experience another act of violence. The odds are in my favor and in yours.
Are the odds that no violence will ever happen anymore in the United States of America?
No, once again,
Exactly. So there's violence. You're talking about an anecdotal evidence. You talking about your life? That's called anecdotal evidence. That's you out of 350 million people in the United States. But do you think there will be no more violence in the United States?
Sir, that's not anecdotal.
Right. Right. So there's violence. So we live in a violent world. So who are women to think that they're not going to be exposed to that violence?
James, that's not what I said. And it's not anecdotal. What I said wasn't anecdotal. It was based on actual stats. I'm saying that no, not by, what are you talking about by me?
You're talking about your life. You said most likely I. You said I like 5 times.
I just used me as an example. I said both of us. You do. Old ass dude. No fucking bad man. Now having ass. You ain't about to get into another fight. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You're good, bro. We're good. We're safe. We survived. We survived our 20s being fucking idiots. We survived it. We're good. More than likely, you ain't gonna get in another fight. You're not gonna experience another act of violence. That's what I'm saying. Like, what are we talking about, bro? Like,
this is what I'm trying to say, bro. No matter what you say or not, you know that you can't definitively say that, brother. For example, let me ask you this: do you own a gun? Do you own a gun? Honestly, be honest.
I want to answer that online.
Okay, exactly. So if that was the case, you wouldn't even need that. Point proven.
That doesn't prove my point. That doesn't prove your point.
Why do you have that gun then? Why do you have it if you're never going to be in violence? Because you need to protect your family. It's on you.
Hold on. Why do I have car insurance?
Because there's I said there's a possibility.
Why do I have fire?
Possibility you can get in a wreck.
No, I never said that it wasn't a possibility. I said it's not
a high probability.
It's not a high probability.
That's why the government makes you have it. That's why. They wouldn't make you have it if they didn't know it was a high probability you'll get in a wreck. They wouldn't make you have it. Why else do they make you have car insurance then? You tell me. Then why do they make you have car insurance, Pub?
Because it's a possibility, and if it happens, it's better that you have it than not. It was costing people too much. It was costing the government money. It was costing taxpayers money.
Somebody kept happening, right? Because it kept happening, right?
Because people kept not having insurance. Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. It's called a pattern, brother. The best way to predict the future is to look at the past. So if it keeps happening, then most logically it's going to happen again. Well, yes or no?
Sir, I understand the patterns. That is why I told you that more than likely, neither one of us are going to get into any more physical altercations because I understand the patterns and I understand the numbers. I never said unequivocally we'll never get into another violent scenario. So what you have, the point is moot. Like, let's move on. I don't know what the hell.
Right. No. We can move on from that.
Yeah, but I just want to tell you though. So this is what I was saying. I don't think you have what it takes to be in this space because I don't think you have enough information. You do have to have a certain level of, you haven't proven it so far. You have to have a certain level of understanding and you have to have a certain level of information. Even if you want to grift, you have to, right? I don't think you have it to be in this space to try to convince the most educated group of people, right? But
they're not. They're
you
not.
would
They're the most enrolled.
Yeah, you would see stuff like that. Is why I'm saying like you wouldn't make it in this space. So, but you know what space you should be in because you're already in it and it's more natural to you. You're like a fish in water. You should pander to men. If you like you're doing right now, if you just pander to men, A, it's more lucrative, a la Kevin Samuels, and B, you can blow it's way easier for you. You because all you have to do is tell men a lie. That's all you got to do, which you seem very comfortable doing. You seem very comfortable gaslighting and doing. All you got to do is get online, start your page, and make these fucking pseudo-intellectual dumbass videos with some piano music behind it, and you just say stupid shit like men out here looking for love and women out here looking for monies. And how can you expect a man to take care of you if you don't want to submit and you don't want to listen? And what man want to be with a woman that throws her body all around the internet in a circle? And that's all you got. Put some piano music behind it, brother. You will get 10,000 followers in a week. You can get on YouTube. You can blow your platform. And I'm not even joking. Like I'm being honest with you. I'm telling you.
If you don't mind, bro. So this is the thing, right? I don't blame people like you, right? Because I don't blame you because it's all about who you are. You got a guy like an FD signifier or somebody, and I don't know your history, right? But let's say a guy grew up, he was raised by a single mom. You know what I mean? And he saw a single mom struggle and everything like that. I can understand why people would hate the red pill or male centered content. I'm not a red pill person, but I can get it, right? So I can understand why people saw this gender war and they saw men versus women and they were like, man, forget them N words. I'm going with these women because I've been taught that we should protect women and that women are to be protected. So I get where you're coming from, brother. I don't know your relationship with your father. I don't know if you grew up without a substantive relationship with your dad, but I suspect. You know what I mean? And the thing is that if you say that you don't gaslight men on men's issues on your show, and you don't tell women what they want to hear, you're just being disingenuous, brother. You're just being disingenuous. Now, I don't disagree with everything that you
This is
say.
what I know. You can't disagree with it because it's facts. So here's what I want you to do. Regardless, saying that, so you just said a whole lot of nothing. I'm just going to be honest. And what you said actually would prove my point, by the way. So let's say, because let's say I was raised by a single mother, because I wasn't. You can say that about most black men. You could just say, I guess you was probably raised by a single mother, right? Most black men were. What is that? That don't mean shit. That would prove what? That men are fucking terrible because they abandon their sons and their daughters, right? If the majority of black kids are raised without their biological fathers being in their lives or showing up as much as their mothers are, right, to any real extent, then that would prove that men actually are terrible. That's not now if I grow up, and I never believed that growing up, but let's say I grew up and now I believe that to be true, right? Because I see all the data, I experienced it, all these things come together, right? They intersect, and I go, well, damn, how can I deny that men are terrible at this point? And then I could base it, and I could base part of it on my real lived experience. And then I go out there and I start to disseminate the information to people, and I start going, yeah, I've come to the realization that men actually are terrible, right? Men actually are the problem. There is no gender war. There's a gender genocide because women ain't fighting against men. They're fucking protecting themselves. So if I acknowledge all of this stuff, I just start speaking the truth, and then there are a bunch of people, in this particular instance, women who want to hear the truth, then who fucking cares? If I'm giving them the truth, who cares? You trying to hide it. When people say you're telling people what they want to hear, that is a vague statement. Because what if they want to hear the truth? I want to hear the truth. I don't want to hear a bunch of fucking lies. That's why I don't care. I consume it because I have to be honest with you, and I'm interested in it. But I don't consume red pill content because it's true. I consume it to debunk it because I know it's a fucking lie, right? But when I want to hear the truth, I go listen to FD Signifier. I go listen to, you know what I'm saying? I go read, I go listen to the late great Nikki Giovanni. I'm listening to the people who actually say the real thing, right? I'm not listening to a bunch of dumb men try to gaslight me and tell me shit that I know is wrong. It doesn't make
Okay.
any sense.
You know,
But
I'm glad you brought up the single mom thing because, like I said, I've been digging into your content. Whenever I come upon new content creators, I dig in there. I was in the gym yesterday listening to your content, and you were talking to a guy about, he was talking about, well, LeBron James' mom and this and this and that. And you were talking about whose fault it is in single motherhood, right? And I think any dude, me personally, I think any dude that impregnates a woman and does not take care of his kid, I think you're a sucker. You know what I mean? I think you're irresponsible. I personally couldn't do it. I couldn't have a kid and just be in another county, be in another state chilling, and I got a kid looking just like me. With that said, right? So you have a woman who did that with a kid when she was young, right? And you're saying what you were saying to this guy, you were saying, how can you blame the mom when she kept the kid? Like, how can you say she's not accountable and she kept the kid, right? And I was like, okay. And you know what I thought to myself? I was like, okay, I'm with him. And then I thought, but what if that woman, what if we came back 8 years later, right? And that woman had had 4 kids by 4 different men, and all of those men left and weren't around for those kids. Are now this is where the gaslighting comes in, right? Are you honestly
you
telling
about
me?
to try to gaslight me right now. That's what you're about
No,
to
no.
try.
Are you honestly telling me, Pub, that
Yep.
at no point when we're talking to her, if she's had 4 pregnancies and all 4 of the dads were deadbeats, right? At no point are you going to say to her, "Hey, we need to review your selection process." Yes or no?
No. Why if I want to call, if I want to solve the problem, why would I talk to the woman? She's obviously not the problem. What changed in this scenario in your mind? I'm really not understanding. If you can blame the first daddy for leaving, what's the difference between the first daddy leaving and the fourth daddy leaving?
What is
It's
the
still the
common
daddy's
denominator in all 4 of those situations? What is the common denominator?
men leaving.
But
That's the common
she's not
denominator.
the
That
common
all four men.
but
No, the common denominator is all 4 men left.
but
That's the
she's
common
not the common
denominator.
denominator.
No,
She's
the
not the
common
common denominator.
denominator is the actions of the men. That's the common denominator. That all 4 men
But
abandoned their children.
but listen, let me ask you, can you, if you forcefully force yourself upon a woman, we all know what that is. That's a SA grape or whatever, right? Now, that woman has to let you enter inside of her, right?
Huh?
Right? She has to
What?
let you sleep with her, right? We're not a woman doesn't go out and a man knocks her over the head like the caveman days and drags her back to a cave, right? And impregnates her, right?
I'm not, sir. I promise you. We've done the math on this 1,000 times. It doesn't matter. I'm letting you know before you do it, you are contradicting yourself. Just so you know, because there is no caveat, right? You just said I could never do it, which means it don't matter if you the 4th baby daddy or the 1st baby daddy. You just said you could never abandon a child that looks like me. I can never leave a child, right? So keep that in mind. So what the fuck does it matter if she slept with 4 different dudes, she let them in, but then they chose to abandon the kids? There's nothing different in that scenario. Nothing changed. It was 4 men that all chose to abandon the woman and abandon their children. Period.
But how did she get pregnant?
Sir, this is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
You're not built for this. You're not built for this
How
conversation.
did she get pregnant, bro? You're smart, bro. See, that's why you're
I
avoiding this
know.
question.
I know.
That's why
Hold
you're
on.
and everybody in the
I'm
chat
not
knows you're
smart.
avoiding it.
I'm not. What are you talking about? You just making up stuff.
Everybody knows you're avoiding.
Sir, it's not about being smart. It's about being honest. All you got to do is be honest.
So you're
I
telling me a
promise
woman has nothing to do with who she gets pregnant by?
It's
Nothing.
not a matter of if they, sir, you are contradicting what you said. It doesn't matter. That's what I'm not understanding. What are you not understanding?
So I just want to get this straight.
Repeat what you said. Repeat what you said about
Okay, I'm
not
gonna repeat
ever
it.
abandoning your kid. You tell
Okay.
me. Tell me what you said.
I would never abandon my kid because I'm a man of values. I was raised, my parents are still married to this day. I could never have a kid with a woman who be a man who abandons his.
We did it, Joe. Hey, James. Therese said, get the fuck up out of here. They didn't like it, man. They didn't like the gaslighting. I be liking that shit. I'm a glutton for punishment. Ever notice? Oh, Robbie, you still there? Reese Collins said, ever notice how interracial couples in media are almost always with a white tea man, woman? It's very rarely other races. I can only think of Cinderella with Brandy. Sorry. Cinderella with Brandy. Yeah, white man with Brandy. Yeah. Miss Chrissy Baby said, listening to him and the other men is the reason women want nothing to do with men. The behavior you're showing is a snapshot of why women leave. Miss Chrissy Baby said, insurance for women equals stay away from men. Yeah, that's the only real insurance women have is to stay away from men. And I don't understand, like, appreciate you, Bianca. You want to talk about Derrick Jackson? Derrick Jackson never hurt women as a group. He never hurt women. He didn't like, he wasn't living the life. He hurt his wife. He hurt his kids. He hurt his family, his direct family. But the women what he was talking about, it didn't hurt women at all. He's not a threat to women at all, as far as what his rhetoric is. So yeah, I don't like, you could disagree with him. I disagree with a lot of stuff he says, but like, I ain't about to sit here and act like, see, he wasn't living that life. And that's all y'all got. You never want to focus on what people are saying when the thing they are saying goes against the narrative that men want women to believe, right? When a man is not pushing that narrative, you attack the man. When the man is when your granddaddy or your godfather Kevin Samuels wasn't living the life that he spoke about, that gets brushed to the back. Who cares? It doesn't matter that he died next to a escort. It doesn't matter that he was divorced twice. It doesn't matter that he abandoned his kids. That doesn't matter. What he was saying was true. Now you only care about what the man is saying. But when it's Derrick Jackson, well, who was he as a person? Let's dig into the man. Was he really living that life? Like, who gives a fuck? Who cares? Who fucking cares? When Derrick Jackson is dead and gone, y'all not going to remember what he did to his wife. The thing that's going to live forever and ever and ever is the shit he said is going to be his content. I promise you, the thing when you Google Derrick Jackson and you look up his content, you're just going to hear what he had to say. That's it. You're going to forget all that other shit. Like, goddamn, the only people that matters for are like pastors. You know what I'm saying? Pastors, priests. Yeah, you got to be living that shit, my nigga. You can't be out here preaching on the Sabbath and then going home and hunching on hookers and shit. No, you can't do that. But
if not, go ahead, bro.
No, I'm good. You good?
If not Kevin Samuels, Andrew Tate, Red Pill content, Fresh and Fit, what should men listen to? Like, what good podcasts are there? From your opinion, I don't know.
FD Signifier is the shit.
FD Signifier.
FD Signifier is the shit.
Got it.
Oh my God, I love FD Signifier. FD Signifier is the shit. Nia X said, Pub, go back. He literally said, who are women to think they shouldn't expect violence? He's admitting they are violent. Yeah, he was all over the place. You come back tomorrow, brother. You can pay $100 and come back up. I would love to continue the conversation. James. Reese Skyler said, does he really think his passive aggressiveness is going over everyone's head? Please put all my super chats on his head, bro. I got you, Reach. He's gone now, safely. He's been escorted out the building. Heidi Sargent said, I could see why his girlfriend pulled a knife on this man simp. We are safer without men like this. Yeah, it's all about, oh, I was attacked by my girl. She pulled a knife on me because you cheated. Because you cheated one too many times. You abused that woman one too many times. She got sick of it, pulled that knife on you.
Yeah.
I love it. Teresa said, a feminist didn't write the book about most single moms are men's fault it's most men's fault. It's a Mormon with 6 children. This nakerthetical is an outlier of outlier. A nakerthetical is crazy. Oh man, niggatheticals is funny in and of itself. Tunisia said, just call me T. Okay, T. I must be saying your name wrong. I'll be butchering it. James too stupid to grift to women. We too smart for him. Wifeless behavior. Point for 4B. Drop before we all lose our brain cells. God damn. Ask the caller if he's Nigerian. I think he is. Last name was Oko. Paris said, okay. All right, bro.
My phone's about to go, but it's been a pleasure, bro.
All right, man. Appreciate you, Nia. Paris said, tell James he should be embarrassed to call himself a man. Mixtress Monica said, James won't make a show talking about the fathers that left the kids. How about he teach men to control their fluids so they don't create babies? Yeah, man. The babies is here. The fluids have been disseminated. What we gonna do about it? That's all I'm trying to figure out. Y'all gonna keep telling me that it's the women's fault, that it's the woman's fault because she laid down with a man, but then in one breath, he had to make himself seem like a stand-up guy. I would never leave my kids, right? They always got to say that. I would never leave my kids, and then turn around and say, but the reason why them mother 4 baby daddies abandon their kids, it must be the woman. What? Which one is it? Uchi Wally Wally or is it one Mike? Which one is it, brother? Where are we going with this? That's all I wanted to know. Maya, what's good with it? I see you unmuted.
Oh, I didn't mean to come up.
You know you was up here? Okay. I heard somebody talking. I was like, let me make sure she know. You good.
I just want to go real quick because I'm going to drop back down.
Go ahead.
I think we hear this all the time. Men say like, oh, I'm about to start doing this. I'm going to start pandering to women too. And it's always like super funny when they come up and say that because they don't even understand that their misogyny is so deep rooted and deeply ingrained that they wouldn't even be able to pretend not to be. And it makes me laugh because I think about how I say all the time, like, oh, if I was able to play the game of a pick-me, I could wipe men out. Like if I was able to really do that, it would be easy because the men in that space, they aren't very smart. They're very easy to fool. Like all you need to do is tell them what they want to hear and, whatever. It's very easy to pander to men, especially as a woman. But I physically would not be able to do it, not for long. Because even when I attempt to do it, because I don't believe it at all, I can't even do it with a straight face. And it would be the same for them. So it's like, instead of coming up here and telling us, oh, I'm going to start a podcast and I'm going to lie and pander to it. Do it. Let's see how far you get. Because you wouldn't get very far because your misogyny is so deeply ingrained. You couldn't even pretend to tell the truth about men. You couldn't even pretend to stop lying to yourself. You couldn't even pretend to say nice things about women. And that this goes way deeper than saying nice things about women. And that's why, you told him you have to be educated to be in this space. You have to understand these things to a certain degree. So they think, oh, I'm going to get a mic and I'm just going to tell women, yeah, these men are the problem. And you're going to start a podcast giving women a bunch of shit advice they already know. You're going to start a podcast telling women, don't walk around at night by yourself in dark alleys because these men are all horrible, scary people. Like, okay. So, it's just funny to me to hear them basically try to shade you on the low by saying they're going to pretend to pander to women. But it's like your misogyny, like you got to unpack a little bit of your misogyny to even do that. So we're not worried.
I think that what's that guy's name, Shan? The one that got exposed for like laying hands and feet on his girl. Black dude. I can't remember. Shaba or Saba or something. Yada. To men like that, Yada. Men like that, to me, what happens with them is, I think that he's a pimp. He has like the mind of a pimp. And pimps are fairly intelligent. Poppy Don. Poppy Don is more entertaining than he is insightful. He's not really insightful. He's more entertaining.
Exactly.
Right? Like when you listen to lives and shit, he just be yapping and it just be funny. It don't be like the women in there be like, no, he's speaking facts. Like it don't be that vibe.
This is so enlightening.
Yeah, it don't be that vibe. It just be like, this nigga stupid. They be calling him out, talking about he lying and shit happens. Like his own girl, like they be watching him and liking his shit, but then also be like, this nigga lying. They just be watching it because it's funny. But Yada, he like, to me, he's the type of man that has gone to therapy and like has weaponized the rhetoric. Mm-hmm. He gives me that vibe. Like he's intelligent, he's emotionally and just intelligent enough in general to weaponize, you know, that the therapist rhetoric or whatever, right? That's what I get from him. 13 Keys, yeah. Those dudes are, you know what I'm saying, like they're on a different tier. But you have never seen those guys in a space with like an FD signifier. You have never seen those dudes actually be challenged by a man that is actually more progressive than they are. Because then you would quickly see that they don't know what the fuck they talking about either.
Yeah, it's like we've seen this happen before. It's not like they're the first person to get this bright idea that, oh, I'm gonna try to pander to women and tell them what they want to hear and make money from. Like there have been men that have tried to do that before, and guess what? The women clock it every time. They may not do it immediately, but it gets clocked at some point, and it usually don't last too long. Brandon P is another one. Yep, he was doing that, and he constantly. Like more and more women would try to challenge him on, because if you say you're progressive and you're in this space, if women see you doing and saying something problematic, they're going to call you out on it. And every single time he got called out on it, you know, it got worse and worse and worse until eventually he switched to what was more natural to him, the red pillar. Like it's not going to last very long because you're not talking to a bunch of stupid people.
Yep. Somebody said it's got Julio far. It didn't. Julio switched. Now he's doing right wing, like he's doing like he's a black Republican. That's his grift. He literally couldn't make it in space. He used to be on, Julio was on, what's that, the other platform. He was on Clubhouse doing the red pill shit. He came to TikTok. I ain't gonna even hold y'all. Ran into me. Anybody that knows, ran into me and was like, hey, wait a minute, I can do that. Tried to do it, couldn't, like Shan said, he couldn't go all the way though. He couldn't fully commit because it wasn't really him. Then once he saw that wasn't gonna, like he had plateaued in that space fairly quickly, he pivoted to sucking Trump's penis from the bite. And that's where he's at now. Go watch his videos. Oh, I'm about to say something very crazy right now. I'm going to say something very crazy right now. I know I'm going to get canceled. He started off every video like that. He wants to trigger you. I know. Hey, y'all, I already know everybody going to come for me. He wants people to come for him, right? What I'm saying is you didn't vote for Trump. 83% of black men that voted for Trump, they are traditional men. And like he going to try to make some weird ass connection. Like that's what he does. It's like the funniest shit. I literally watched it happen. I was like, oh, okay. I see his grift. He was grit. Him doing the red pill rhetoric was who he really is. Him trying to be like, oh no, you have a point. Like to me, because that's how when he came. Y'all remember when he used to be in my late night lives, being very combative. Then he started to say, well, you know what? That's a fair point, public. Well, you know what? I think I've learned something, do that fake performative shit. And then he just started to adopt a lot of my talking points. Then his platform started actually attracting people to his lives more by having them prompts back there. Then that shit stopped working because he was getting clocked. He kept getting clocked. He kept getting challenged. He kept getting exposed. He was getting exposed by red pillars too, by the way. He wasn't just getting exposed by like by women challenging him or men challenging. He was getting exposed by red pillars because they would bring him out of his character. He would revert back to his red pill talking points. Whenever it was convenient, whenever he needed that solace, right? He needed that comfort. He would resort back to that shit. Then he was just like, fuck it. I'm just gonna start being, talking about Trump and talking about how the black man and the black woman are being fooled by the Democratic. We need to get every black man and black woman off the Democratic plantation. Like I'm telling you, it is extremely hard to grift in this space. I swear to God, I've seen men and women try to grift in this space, and almost everyone gets exposed. And it's just a matter of time before they do.
Yeah, but the last thing I wanted to say, I just wanted to end on this. Even the fact that so many men try to expose every man in this space, especially the men in this space, like they go out of their way to try to be like, oh, he's not really like that. That's not really true. He doesn't really believe those things. But then at the same time, they're the same men that say not all men. Mm-hmm. But you constantly try to convince me that every time I find a man that maybe isn't quite like that or is being honest about the conversation, you tell me, oh, he's a liar too. So then it is all men.
So he just like me. He just like me. That's what they be saying. That's what they said to me yesterday, Shan.
Like, he ain't no better. He the same way. He just like a bubble. And it's like, okay, I mean, I said all men till there's no men, right? So you don't even need to tell me that. But you're the main one arguing with me when I say that. So it's like they want to be able to control who you decide is
a good man
or a man that's doing the right thing. So they'll say not all men, and then when you say, "Oh, well, I don't think this man is like," yes, he is. Y'all just don't believe anything. Y'all easily fooled.
Y'all some dummies.
Men are manipulative, and they are all trying to fool us, including these men.
I would never listen to the niggas that I already said this a million times. Men trying to act like they be clocking shit is the funniest shit ever. Like men are not perceptive. You're not perceptive enough to clock anything. That's why y'all say the same stupid shit about me. Y'all not perceptive enough. You don't have nothing to say. You come up here, you say the same stupid shit every single time. Y'all either come up here on some passive aggressive shit like old boy did, or you come up here straight combative and you got to make up shit. You got to jump to all of these conclusions and bounce all. Y'all like a fucking the king on the chessboard. Y'all just be jumping everywhere in this motherfucker. Just and you're raised by your single baby mama, and but you know, I mean, abandoning your kids is wrong, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I mean, that's why I be like, fuck these daddies, but it's your mama's fault that your daddy. Wait, but you just said that any man that leave his baby is a piece of shit, right? I agree with you. Oh, you didn't mean that though. You didn't mean that. That's not what you just said that so you can attack women. That's all y'all do. Y'all say the thing. You think that's the Trojan horse. You think saying men ain't shit, anybody that abandoned their kids ain't shit. And then you think that gives you free reign to say whatever you want to do. Free range to say whatever you want to do, right? You could from then you could pivot and be like, oh, abandoning your child is terrible. But nigga, where does the butt fit in on this situation? Where could a butt ever exist after abandoning your child is fucking terrible? Full stop. End of the sentence. End of discussion. I don't even want to talk about it no more. The parent who abandons their child is the problem. Full stop. Y'all want to argue? You think there's more to the story than that? The man who they said YouTube is froze. Is YouTube froze? The man who abandons their child is the problem. YouTube not froze for me. Y'all let me know if YouTube is froze, y'all. What up, BBG?
Hey, yeah, I do. I do think that's laughable. That a lot of what men's gripe with you is like, he's just like us. Like, and what do you mean by he's just like us? Like, what do you mean by, when you talk about men being violent or aggressive, and that the likelihood in your lifetime that you will be able to evade that is slim to none. Like, and that this man also is an example of that. I never quite know where they are going with that, because to me it just further reiterates the point. Like, so y'all think that even when you hear a man you really haven't been able to debunk, who you really haven't been able to come, fact for fact with, who you really haven't been able to like find a bunch of dirt on, that you are so deeply biased against even your own gender, that you believe that when you look at this man that somehow he also fits the bill. Like, you know so much about men that like, oh no, a man that's telling women that they ain't got to deal with abuse, and telling women that it's okay for them to have degrees, and it's okay for them, and the crazy part is You know, let me rephrase that, because that's not actually what you even say. That's the weirder part. That's not actually what you even say. Most of the conversations that you have are talking to other men about the ways that men can improve themselves. Like, quite literally, it's you. Hey, we need to be able to see this thing that we're doing to women, because if you gaslighting them all the time and you pissing them off because you cheating on them and you're not supporting them with the kids, this is the direct result of that thing. And most of the men get up here and be like, "Nah, bro, how much they paying you? They paying you $50 to say that?" No, I read. Like, what?
I don't need BPG. I don't need a book for that. I lived it. That's what I be telling niggas. I'm like, you want me to lie to you? I would have to go against everything I've learned thus far in my relationship. Let me just put it like that.
I mean, read loosely. I mean, you read headlines. I mean, you can read, you can see, you can be getting your kids ready for school in the morning, and you'll see something on the news. It's literally
everywhere you look.
All the time. And it's not hard to find. And that's the part that makes you most pissed off, is like every single time they start to bring up these talking points, they're like, well, yeah, you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, women be doing it too. Oh, okay, that's right. What do women be doing too? Well, you know,
choosing bad.
Y'all be believing any of us are good people.
Trusting us. Why would you ever trust us? See, that's your fault for trusting us.
You put your trust.
You put your trust in a nigga. Hey, that song gonna be funnier if a man made it. I ain't gonna even lie. I think a man should remake that song and just say that part. You put your trust in a nigga.
my bad. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like that's the craziest part, is like they always resort back to the same things that we discussing anyway. Just like you just said, you put your trust in a stupid hoe. How you feel? Like that we saying the same thing. We are all saying the same thing. That when women talk about their experiences, it's never a matter of this one man did this one thing. It usually starts off as, well, yeah, when I was 5 years old, my dad. When I was 8 years old, my uncle. When I was 9 years old, my cousin. Like that's where those conversations begin. And then eventually later on down the line, when I was 16 years old, my boyfriend. And then I got married at 20, my husband. Like, these aren't uncommon occurrences. And they know that, because they always get pissed off at you. They always get pissed off at you, and they always get pissed off at Derrick Jackson. Which, truthfully, I don't know what the Derrick hate train is, because he ought to be their king, if I'm completely honest.
I'm like, how y'all niggas hate Derrick?
What the niggas like? He's masculine, fit, and friendly. Like, he's
6 foot, he got a 6-pack, and he makes 6 figures. Y'all love them niggas.
He cheat on his wife.
Because he wasn't supposed to tell the game. You're supposed to hurt them, but don't tell them the game while you do it.
True. You ain't supposed to.
Yeah, but that's not fair. That ain't even fair.
He was telling niggas, and he was telling the women, look. He was telling women how niggas was cheating, like what to look for when niggas was cheating. That was some of the, like, the most of the content that I've seen from him. It was like, basically, it was like that type of stuff. How to spot the red flag. It was like that type of content, right? And I'm sitting there going, okay, if I was a red pill nigga, I would watch that shit and just flip it. It's like it's like, look, if you are a police officer, or if you know how police solve crimes, right? You know their methodology, right? Then you know how to disrupt it, right? You dummies. It seems easy. Like, y'all are like, that's how I know niggas is just dumb. I'm like, y'all really are dumb. And what happened is the system made it easy for men to manipulate women. The system made it easy for men to manipulate women. It put all the cards and all the advantages in our favor, right? We got the whole deck is stacked against women. Women are gaslit by society, propagandized, threatened, under penalty of death, harm, not getting jobs, like all types of shit, just from not, if women reject men, right? Okay, cool. you basically force women to deal with men. So they got all the odds are in your favor. And that made men lazy. Per the usual. We're lazy. We don't think. So now fast forward, women out the chicken coop. You know, let the chickens out the chicken coop. It's hard to corral these motherfuckers now, right? You can't, you know what I'm saying? They ain't just fucking locked up in no little bitty baby cage like they used to be. Now you got to go out and trap them. Now you got to go hunt for them and shit like that, right? And you niggas is dumb. Y'all used to just giving them fucking bird feed. Nigga, they done ate worms and shit. They done ate real insects. They like that shit better now. And y'all still trying to convince, and y'all still trying to tell the women, here, chicky, with your fucking cornmeal and shit. They don't like that shit, my nigga. They don't like it. Y'all not listening. They telling you how to get. You don't listen. Y'all doing everything but listening. You trying to get them back in the cage without offering nothing. You trying to trap them without nothing. And the women they can see the shit a mile away. They can see the shit a mile away. With or without Derrick Jackson. With or without Derrick Jackson.
Well, hold on. My favorite part about Derrick Jackson is the fact that the sign, you said this earlier, and I swear I'm so glad I wasn't up here because I was crying laughing. Derrick Jackson, it felt like he would go home like Moesha and lay on his bed with his legs kicked up in his stomach and write down all the dumb stuff he did that day and then give women advice about it. Because every piece of advice he gave was always like, hey, don't trust niggas in tight shirts.
It was him.
Cars, cheating on their wives. Like, if a man gonna cheat on his wife, he always gonna choose the baddie over the modest one. You gotta look out for that. And then you look up. It's like, what is that?
It was a composite sketch of that nigga the whole time.
And he in the alley, like, pointing to the other Spider-Mans, like, no, it's not me. It's you guys. Like, and that's the part that pisses me off. It's like, you tell people all the time, hey, I'm a man that's flawed. I haven't turned away. I definitely have some misogyny in there. Okay, but I'm married. I'm faithful to my wife. I'm taking my kids in at night and I'm picking them up from school. We going to the games. We doing all of this stuff. And every single time they be pissed off at you. I'm like, no, wait a minute. This is the math thing. Think that.
Nigga, I be in the house. I don't even be outside. Niggas be like,
difference with the Derrick Jackson approach, because I was never a Derrick Jackson fan personally. I would see his videos and I would just scroll past them. And I think, but it was because he was always talking about relationships, like relationship advice, things you shouldn't accept from a man. Well, I didn't give a fuck about that, honestly. But I think the difference is when you talk about systemic issues and you frame it based on things that we experience in relationships, so you bring it to a more interpersonal level, that's different than talking about relationships and giving relationship advice. True. And never really relating it back to the systemic issues. And I think when people talk about you're not telling a lot of these women things that they don't already know, because they probably wouldn't have even come across you and stuck around if they didn't already believe these things. Mm-hmm. But it's being able to talk about this stuff from a more systemic standpoint, so people understand, like, oh, that wasn't just my boyfriend or my ex or my relationship. This is a systemic type of issue, whereas Derrick Jackson was more so like BPG said, don't trust a man that sit in his car and talk in tight shirts. And I was like, bet, scroll.
Yeah, like, I know. But also it's like, but what if I like niggas in tight shirts? Like, that didn't help me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't. A lot of it was like, it was too personal. It was, you know, like you were saying, like, it was just too personal. It was like, all right, I mean, you know, okay, I hear you. But it never was a problem. I never heard anything from that nigga where I was like, well, I'm lying. I'm sorry. I'm lying. He said hella shit that I disagreed with, because he is very misogynistic. So he would say stuff like, you know, the man's supposed to be the leader in the castle. He's supposed to be the king, you know, shit like that. And I'd be like, because he was, you know, he's a God-fearing man, quote unquote. So he, like, you know, all of that shit. I think that shit is mad corny. But yeah, when he would say this stuff about relationships and cheating, I'll be like, yep, I agree. But like you said, Chant, they don't never want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about it holistically. They want to talk about it like man to that's why they do that. Like, you don't know me. And I'm like, you right. I don't know you, but I know men.
Don't stimulate my mind, because you keeping it very surface level. And it's like, I'm so far past that. Like, I don't even care about what you're talking about at this point. You ain't even said, you've been talking for an hour about relationships. You ain't even said the word patriarchy or misogyny.
Yeah. None of that shit.
It's supposed to come up. I'm just saying. It's
At some
supposed to
point in
come up.
time. Why do you think you acting the way you act? Where did you think you learned that from? Like, that's what I be asking me.
Another red flag be, and you sparked another thought, but the other red flag be like when you listen to guys like Omar and Derek Jackson, this is an easy way to tell. It's an easy way to tell. Is that they always start off with, yeah, black women, you know, they strong, they independent, they educated, they taking care of their families, you know, and initially you're like, oh, okay.
That's true.
This is a very nice thing that he said about black women. But see, the thing is, they wouldn't have to be that way.
You got them resting in their masculinity when they should be resting in their divine femininity.
The way that you unlock the femininity of the black woman is that you got to give her a soft place to land. Then she won't want to educate herself and go out and make her own money, her own thing. And it was like, you almost had me. You almost
got you.
Had me.
Hey, them niggas always got you.
The beat was sweet, but the lyrics, no, I'm leaving. This ain't for me. I'm all right.
Always. I'll be like, wait a minute. That's why I like my girl Plant. Plant be like, Plant had a prompt up today. I think it said something like, you don't have a problem with finding, you don't need a provider. We need to address capitalism or something like that. And I was like, yeah, that's what I was saying yesterday on the live. I was on the live with Jana. They were doing that whole, like, if you can't afford to have a wife, then you don't deserve to have a wife shit. And I was like, it's a systemic problem, just so you know. Like, I know it'd be all fun and games and kiki about this shit, but let's be fucking for real. Like, let's stop acting like the reason why people can't afford, it ain't just that motherfuckers is lazy. It ain't just that, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not just what it is. Like, even if every man tomorrow got a degree and wanted to make six figures, it wouldn't happen. It is impossible. Let's say they allowed everybody to go get an education, which they would never allow everybody to get an education. Ever. They would close down the colleges before they did that shit. I swear to God, y'all think I'm joking. If it don't even got to be everybody. If 50% of graduating high school students enrolled into college, if 70%, I'm sorry, let's go higher. If 70% of all high school students enrolled into college, they would shut down the colleges. They would make city college cost $100,000 a year. Like, it would be ridiculous. Like, y'all don't even understand what's going on if you think that it's just motherfuckers is just waking up every day and making poor choices. Like, that's not what it is. The only choice that we're making collectively that's a poor choice is to not fight against the system. That's the only poor choice we're making every day, to me. That we all ain't waking up on some Luigi shit. Everybody ain't waking up on some Luigi shit. Like, if we all woke up on some Luigi shit, it'll be over tomorrow. You dig what I'm saying? But if we all woke up tomorrow and was like, I'm going to go to college, I'm going to make six figures, nothing would change. Nothing would change. The system would keep being the system. It would keep being the system. You would do that. They would respond. They would cut you off like they always do. And you will be left in, you'll be on the outside again. That's all they would do. Most devs said it best. They say they want you successful, but then they make it stressful. You start keeping pace. They start changing up the tempo. He said that shit in 1999, and I remember that shit vividly. That's exactly what it is. They don't want you to be successful. There's no way for you to get there as a collective. Yes, I can get there. Yes, Mo Better can get there. Yes, Shan can get there, but not all of us. All of us can't get there. Sorry, not in this system. And I feel like we lose sight of that sometimes having these conversations. We get, we key a lot and we start, getting in our little classes bag and shaming niggas and shit like that. But then I'm like, I'll be listening. I'm like, wait, y'all be taking this shit too far. Like, you shouldn't have a baby if you can't afford it. Like, what? That is eugenics. Like, let's pump your brakes a little bit there, man. Sir, stop. It's way deeper than that. Here's what I'm saying to the people who say that. Imagine a world where, or imagine in this world, if the men simply stopped abandoning the kids. exactly what nothing changes economically for anybody. Nothing changes economically for anybody. Just imagine if men just showed up for their kids. How many of us would still be out here talking about some? If you can't afford to, it would go away almost overnight. Like we wouldn't, because that's not the problem. The problem isn't that. The problem is we're not showing up for our fucking kids. That's the problem. The problem is, yes, money exacerbates the situation. Yes, money plays a role. I'm not denying any of that stuff. I'm just saying that it's not just the money. Like that's not the thing. And in telling poor people they shouldn't have kids or whatever, literally that is literally eugenics. Like you can't, like that's a weird thing to say. That's all I'm saying for the people that believe that. Like that's just a weird approach. That's it, right? You maybe could tell like an individual that has abandoned their kids, hey, if you couldn't afford to pay for the kids, you shouldn't have had the kids. Yep. I agree. I'm with that. But if you're talking to a group of people, you're talking about, you know what I mean? Like now we're talking systemically, you can't say that stuff like and actually think that, you know what I mean? Like people are gonna, I'm not receptive to that. I don't appreciate that. I'll be honest with y'all. Y'all, I know we can argue till you blue in the face. You can say, well, I still agree. I don't give a fuck. You can agree to this. I don't care. It's fine. I'm just telling you that I personally think that is very classist and gets us nowhere. That conversation doesn't get us anywhere. It's literally just a shaming tactic, just so you know. And when the red pillars, because I've heard them call that out, you actually are wrong. Like you that is something when they do expose that, when people say that, you actually are wrong. You actually do open yourself up. You are actually opening yourself up for scrutiny. Like very much so. They have a legitimate gripe with you at that point. You can't afford a wife. You can't have a wife. Like
it's irresponsible because you have to know, like, and you have to be willing to understand that that's the basis for why poor people and Black people were sterilized. Like you have in mass amounts.
Yeah.
Like there's real historical context to that, and you can't. The part that annoys me the most, especially about like these red pill kind of talking points, is the fact that they are usually based in like not even a little bit of systemic oppression, but like top level, genocidal activity. And like the base of it is the belief that, these specific people who are bred this specific way, who have this amount of money and this amount of, physical ability are worthy of being alive. And these other people who, couldn't afford their kids and, who are built a specific way or who have, some form of disabilities, that those people aren't worthy of living. Why would you have kids if you know that you got all of these issues going on? And it's a game because the shaming tactic does work because it's circular. And they know that the truth behind it is that they need poor people, but they also need poor people to be shamed. Those two things have to go together because you can't just have poor people living harmoniously and being able to, to live in peace in the slums. You gotta have people who are willing to shame those people, because if they are willing to shame those people, then both sides will continue to look for upward mobility. But if you actually give people a blueprint for peace, where parents can raise their kids the way that they see fit, and people who raise kids like that tend to have kids who are rebellious against the system, who question everything, who try to get, information on, okay, why are you asking me to do this? What is the morality behind that? Those people stir up trouble because those are the people who are change agents. And when you have those change agents, the whole system crumbles. So they know that.
Yep. 100%. Mo, are you still here? You ain't saying nothing this whole time. I thought you was.
Yeah, I'm here. I thought it was still like the stack, like we're gonna talk about this person's point, then talk about that person.
Nah, we've been up here. Yeah, once Shan and BPG come up here, it just be friends. It just turn into the kumbaya.
Oh, okay. I didn't listen. I don't come up here often, so I don't want to get kicked out the house because I don't get past the living room. So let me in the kitchen, let me take my shoes off and shit. You ain't gonna kick me out this motherfucker. Okay? How
dare you shame me, Mo? How dare you shame me? What did I do to deserve being shamed? I don't understand. What did I do?
I did have two things. Okay, so first off, listen, I am still in shambles, and I am still doing a full forensic file criminal minds overload on myself, because I got blackfish with the whitefish or the black catfish from the other day, and I'm now.
Oh, you talking about that dude?
Yeah.
Hey, what was his name? What was his name? I can't remember his name.
I don't want to remember.
Nah, I want to remember it.
And also, I'm not joining your fucking anti-black line that you have about it, because no, I'm not. I don't care. I stand by all of my decision-making processes from that day. I ain't rolling nothing back. This ain't Walmart. No.
We need to have that, man. We need to have that live. We're going to talk about, we're going to talk about what we were just talking about, and we're going to talk about getting blackfished.
Right, the point I had, so homeboy, before he got kicked, listen, you know me and being in finance and all the rest of that, you know exactly where I'm fit to go. That 30K was wild.
Hey, that was wicked, huh? 30K, nigga?
So, did you see the Umar video where he was talking about if you've been with a nigga for 2 years and he asked you for $700 a month, you should be able to do that if he got a plan and he give you a determinate time for the damn, the way you looking, you ain't seen that.
What?
Now I gotta pay man support. Wait, okay,
hold on. Wait, what?
Hey, let me break it down. Hey, damn, I y'all seen it. Okay, let me break it down.
I'm about to look that up.
Because it's obviously wild. Okay, so he says in the video that you see in the comments, people saying that, okay, they just seen it. So I'm not just making stuff up. All right. He said if you've been with a man for 2 years, okay, and he has a business plan, and he say he got it and whatever, and he said that I'm gonna do this and do a thing, but I need you to give me $700 a month to invest in this plan that I got. Okay, and he give you a definitive amount of time around how much, how many months he gonna need this, and he show you, improvement on, whatever he doing for that time. Okay, that you should do that. That's what Umar say, $700 a month, and all I could think when I heard homie with the 30 bands was like, that's equal. That is literally equal, because as much decision making and as perfect judgment as you had for each one of those thousands to lose 30 times is the equal decision making prowess that you must have to not let no bank trust you that you need my $700 a month, motherfucker.
That shit crazy.
I just want to know how do we get to the point where women are your absolute resource?
Well, they always been. That's the.
No, we weren't the money resource.
Oh, money, yeah. But y'all was the resource and everything else. And then once women can make their own money, then it would be natural that they would also take over that as well. So yeah, but women have always been a resource. That's the thing.
I hate it here. Last thing, to speak to the last thing, talking about the dudes trying to pander, whatever that. I hate that whole conversation. Anywho, the thing that fellas keep trying to do within that whole thing is what I have dubbed the Anne Frank syndrome. Okay, and it's out of the cult of men. And it's the whole, you remember the Diary of Anne Frank, right? Where she said, in spite of everything, I still believe in the good of people. Yeah, so what these niggas do, in spite of the absolute horrors and abject depravity that I know in fact to exist with men, I still believe that the nigga that you gonna meet tomorrow is gonna be your prince. That's the Anne Frank syndrome. And we not buying it. Like, I don't know why you expect us to still do this. And further, why you expect us to do it not only with our first it was our pocketbook, now it's with our pocketbook. Stop it. That's what I got.
Yeah, they said it's glitching. I'll be back. Damn. I feel like once a day, man. I don't know what happened. If they like mass report me or something. But once a day, my live start glitching and twitching.
I did a video about that video because the crazy part to me was, why is this nigga asking me for $700? He got the plan ironed out. Obviously, I got the $700. Why is he asking me how I made the money as opposed to if he had it? Like, that's the crazy part.
Because you made it for him.
Right. I gotta stop agreeing before I hear the whole part. But
That's what they be thinking, BPG. They be feeling like your money is their money and their money is your money.
Remember, it's the other way around. Like, yes, my husband's money is my money, but my money is my money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not the same. And like, that's again, if you have this plan, it's ironed out. You got everything you need. It's a great foolproof plan, so much so that I don't even need to be married to you for the plan to work. Why don't you have a credit union you can go to? A bank? A friend? Where's all your high value friends that you can, present this plan to that can give you the money? And why am I giving it to you in increments over a period of time? Why am I giving you $700 a month?
You might not be able to afford to give them the whole $8,400 for the year.
And wait a second, hold up. As the leader, that sounds suspiciously like you have turned into like a check recipient, almost like, damn, that sounds like welfare, don't it?
Sound just like welfare.
That sounds like you waiting to get your monthly check.
Sound like child support when you the fucking child.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I said. It's man support. Man support.
Hey, y'all. Listen, I just want to know why coming up with the capital wasn't part of the plan. Exactly. I guess the plan was my capital, but I'm just saying, like, if you're coming to me and you're like, listen, I got a business plan and, I want you to support it and stuff like that. My first question is, okay, great. That sounds fantastic. How do you intend on coming up with the capital? And then you will look at me like, I know that at the end of the month, every month, you tend to have exactly $701 left over. And I was thinking, I could get 700.
Yellow, you know how bad it is when you said, why can't they come up with the capital? I negated the possibility of their earning potential so bad. I was like, you mean capital letter? Just, okay, you know what?
No, ma'am. Part of the business plan is supposed to be, how do I come up with the capital? Now, coming up with the capital could be you were saving for some time, you pick up a second job, you start selling, I don't know, whatever, that's your business, whatever it is that you need to sell. Or it could be making sure that your credit looks good enough so that the bank will trust you, because if the bank don't trust you, neither do I. Like,
hey.
What was the plan for the capital? I was your plan for the capital?
The whole time.
Out of here.
Hey, Jay, remember what Jay said? Jay said, I think he said something like, I got a business plan. I'm not a business, man. Just help me with my business. Damn. That nigga Jay dropped. That was a bar, man. That nigga, he was teaching niggas. What up, Jay Will?
What's good?
Chilling.
About to bring the mood down a little bit. About to trauma on y'all just a little bit. But I do want to appreciate you because when you was explaining to dude earlier about how men, specifically black men, aren't allowed to feel emotions or anything. Kind of going through something right now. I lost my best friend somewhere between Tuesday night and Wednesday morning.
Damn.
Been friends with since high school. He died right when we share a house together. He died in the house. But I had to get somebody together for my sake, because they always were saying, how they come up and they be like, you're supposed to show emotions, like hold it together. And I was like, no, bro, let me break down. Let me cry. I need to feel this because I've never lost somebody this close and this intimate to me before. And so, like, around the time when we got the house together, I found you and Mr. Jones. It was like, y'all were talking about intimacy, and like, why don't we tell each other, we love them or whatever until it's too late. And so what's that, like 2 years ago? You know what I'm saying? So since I started listening to y'all, I make sure to tell all my best friends, like, yo, I love y'all. I love y'all. Even though I even joke, I love y'all. And I mean that in the gayest way possible. I know it's gonna make them uncomfortable.
Yeah.
The whole
just cut to it. Like, yeah, nigga, it's gay. Whatever you want to say, nigga, but I love you. Yeah.
So it's just like I'm sad he's gone, but I'm so glad that I was able to tell that dude, yo, you are my brother, and I love you every chance I got, because man, it's tough, but it's just like we got to get out of this false identity of what masculinity is, even though it's made up, not real anyway. But it's just hug your people, let them know that how you feel about them. You never know what might happen.
Damn, man. Sorry to hear that, man. I love you though, and I don't mean that in the gayest way possible. I mean that in the most platonic.
Yeah, I appreciate you, brother. A lot. We need to hear that, because Ellie always show that wheel of emotion, and then we always go in between anger and sadness or whatever. It's like only feel two things. Like, nah, you going around the whole wheel.
Yep.
Feel everything.
No, that's for real. Yeah, you definitely gotta, as a man, you gotta figure out a way to filter your emotions through some other emotions outside of just, even being like really sad or being really angry or being really, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like, man, just there's no in between. There's like so many levels and there's so many ways to feel. I struggle with that often. Like, I don't mean like, I be feeling weird some days. Like, I be feeling weird. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I think like 2 weeks ago, I started feeling real good. Like, I woke up, I felt real good. Like, not physically, mentally. I still don't feel good physically. My body all fucked. I'm old. But mentally, I was just like, man, I like super productive. I was like, man, I'm about to do. I did a bunch of shit done. I got a bunch of shit accomplished. And I didn't know, like, I felt weak. Like, it felt like, I was like, why am I so happy? Why, like, where the fuck is this coming from? It was just like a weird feeling for me. And I don't feel like it shouldn't have been so foreign. It should have just been something that I just like rolled out, you know what I mean? Or whatever. But I was questioning that shit like the next day. I was like, what? I told my wife, I was like, I don't know what it is, but I feel really good today, And I was able to do some stuff with it or whatever, and it went away the next day. I don't know what the fuck happened, but definitely like I don't know. I struggle with that shit all the time, Jay. Like, I don't know how the fuck I be feeling. You know what I mean? Like, the only time I can kind of process it is like when I'm dealing with my son, because I feel like I have to. Cause that's what lets me know it's like more just like concentrating and focusing. You know what I'm saying? But when it's me, I just be on some like who cares? Like, I don't know. I can only feel mad or sad or happy. So that's pretty much it. There's like there's like so many levels. And like when I feel anxious, which is, I guess, I don't know if that's an emotion, more like a feeling. But when I feel anxious, man, I don't know how to deal with that shit. I don't know how you deal with that, with anxiety or anxiousness, but I don't know what the fuck to do. I don't know how to process it. I usually just end up getting mad. What'd you say, BBG?
But anxiety is a trick. Like, anxiety, and I found that out about my own anxiety, is that it's meant to trick your mind. Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Oh, my bars was low. Anxiety is meant to trick your mind into believing that, that something is happening, that something is coming, and it's not there. It's not real. It's not tangible.
Mm-hmm.
And I spend a lot of time talking myself off the ledge, because people don't believe me, but I deal with very extreme anxiety, like all the time. Now, what I have stopped doing is, because I have a habit of dealing with things on my own, I've started to hold my friends accountable and my husband accountable for, if I'm going through an anxious episode, letting them know what's going on. Because a lot of times people will be there for you. You got your wife. I'm sure you got other friends that would be willing to be there for you, but they don't know. Like, they can't guess that that you are going through this thing, so they don't know to help. And like, I found that when I allow for my friends and my family to rise to the occasion, 9.9 times out of 10, they do. And I'm glad I will tell my husband, like, hey, I'm very anxious today. I have no idea why. My feelings are sort of all over the place. I'm very jumpy. Like I feel like I'm gonna have a panic attack. And he'll be like, okay, what do you need me to do? What do you think I can do to help? And sometimes I say I don't know. Sometimes I do know, what it is. But all of the time, he will figure out some kind of way to be of support. And that doesn't stop your anxiety, but it for sure helps knowing that, okay, you're not, it's validating to know, like, hey, okay, I'm not necessarily being irrational. This is something that I'm actually going through. And I do have people around me who don't think I'm just crazy. Like, they actually want to support me through this. Yeah. And that's the part that you probably gonna have to do. And I suggest the same thing for Jay. When you're dealing with grief, don't try to work through that junk on your own, because when you try to work through anxiety, depression, grief, any of that stuff on your own, you will embarrass the hell out of yourself, because it never goes away. It's gonna show back up, and it shows up in the weirdest ways.
Inopportune times.
Inopportune times. When my dad passed, I was literally, this how bad it was. That my mom called me, went to the hospital, took my grandma to the hospital, saw his body, all of that stuff, went home. My husband was like, well, what you want to do? I was like, well, I got stuff I got to do. I got my team waiting on me, blah, blah, blah. Get dressed. Went to church like nothing happened. They announced it at church. I was like, we want to pray for, sister, blah, 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 because, her dad passed. I'm like, oh, yeah, thank you. Went about my day like absolutely nothing had happened. And I did this for quite some time. And then one day, literally out the blue, I'm sitting in the car and I hear this song. And it was a song that my dad used to sing all the time. And I mean, the scream that I let out, it was like, even thinking about it now gives me chills. But it came out of the bottom of my body.
Guttural.
And I had to pull over because I couldn't handle. I mean, it was people in other cars like pulling over to check on me, like, are you okay? Blah blah blah. But again, that's because your body, that grief will show up physically. You just have to learn, like, okay, I gotta let it happen. I have to allow for myself to be able to feel this thing, recognize the feeling, and then allow for it to pass. But part of that is being honest with yourself and being honest with the people around you. Your wife, I'm sure, if you told her, like, babe, I feel really anxious today, I don't know what the heck going on, I'm sure she was like, okay, let's see what we can get, let's see how we can help you.
She'd be like, yeah, okay, make sure you on time to pick up them kids. No, I'm just
You probably would be on time to pick up them kids still, because she probably would help you so good that you would be fine by the time it's time to pick up the kids. Like, but that, again, that's just the responsibility of, like, the only thing that you really can do as a person is, like, trust and believe the people around you are legit. Yeah. And like I said, if you allow for them to do so, they'll rise to the occasion more often than not.
That's facts. Now, if I told my wife I was anxious, she'd be like, you know what helps anxiety? Washing dishes, cleaning up, cooking for others. I'd be like, damn, I might start believing her. Should I be cleaning the whole fucking house?
Tell my husband them dishes will help. That water therapy is amazing. It's just, rub those dishes. Get that anger out on those dishes. Like a black mama.
For real. Anxiety, them dishes, nigga. I'm like, wait a minute, man. I'm going through something right now. Hey, Cedar just texted me and said, hey, Cedar just texted me right now and said, lies. Do not. I'm out here satirizing that woman now. I'm just playing. Nah, she would never do that shit.
For men, no, not for women.
Nah. She know how to deal with. Thank God she know how to deal with the anxiety. Let me get to Extreme real quick. Extreme, what's good with you? Hey, yo, Extreme, you muted. Hold on, let me unmute him. Or send him an invite, I should say. All right, well, I don't know what's going on. They said stop lying on that woman. Oh, man. Okay. Well, y'all can keep going. I'll wait for Extreme, I guess. I was waiting for him. Definitely, let's keep liking the live though, y'all. Gift the panel, all that good stuff, man. Definitely look out for your boy Jay. Definitely. Y'all know what it is, man. It's Friday.
I'm sorry.
What you say, Sham?
No, I was telling Jay, I'm sorry to hear he lost his friend.
Yeah, losing your friend like that is unexpected. Crazy.
Yeah, I shared I shared all my emotions and stuff on mute, so sorry y'all.
All right. Like you said, what did I miss? What are we doing?
So what I want to say something about who ruins most relationships. Okay, fine. Let's go with your friends. Okay, women. Fine. Okay, what's your answer? Okay, because the thing that in all of these, all the time, when you're offering up, women are, the reason, the season, the all of it, whatever. Okay, fine, sir. If y'all the leaders, fix it. Fix it. How do you fix it? What's the solution?
I don't know if you was in there earlier, Mo, but some dude came up and he said that it's because of women's expectations of men. And I didn't say this, but I thought about it. I'm like, wait. All right, Jazzy. Women's expectations of men would still mean that it would be the actions or inactions of men that cause the problem. So either way, it's still men. Even in that scenario, it ain't the women, because what did the women actually do? Nothing. They didn't do anything to ruin the relationship. They just had an expectation of a man that he wasn't able to meet, right? So there you go. It would still be the actions of the men or inactions of the men. That's what it is. Like that's.
No, okay, wait, hang on. I think I may see their train of logic. Okay, it's a little off the track, a little wonky, but okay, hang on. So let's say the example of expectation is I expect you to maintain gainful employment. There we go. Beginning premise. That's just wrong with it. Hey, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, I expect you to maintain gainful employment. Okay?
God damn.
Troglodyte loses his job and he's like, you know what? I like this Madden thing. I don't want to work. Okay, you paying bills, you got it. I don't want to do this. Okay, and then she's like, no, get up, go to work. He's like, I don't want to. It's like, you know what? No, I ain't finna do this no more. You gotta go. And now he's on the live talking about, man, she didn't want to hold me up. She want
to give me that $700 a month. So I can sit back and keep playing Madden.
Hold on, Mo better. I gotta pause you right there, because a man would never do that. What you just explained would literally never happen with any man, especially not a black man. And let me tell you where. No, hold on now. We know each other, so trust me, right? Trust the algorithm. No man would ever say, I just don't want to go back to work. They will all say, baby, tomorrow. Baby, I applied for 7 jobs today. I just didn't get any of them. Baby, I did this, I did that. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I got an interview tomorrow that they never fucking went to. That is what happens. So when you talk about these unmet expectations, the problem is I got those expectations from you. If you were honest about what I could expect from you from the beginning, we would have never had a breakup, because I would have either said, what you expect from yourself isn't enough for me, and I won't get into a relationship, i.e. there'll never be a breakup, or you'd have to meet what you said you were gonna be. So go ahead, I'm going back on mute.
No, I believe it.
As always, she nails it. I can't even argue. That's hilarious.
Yeah, niggas definitely gonna lie and say they looking for a job. Tina Jones says crazy talk. What you talking about, Tina? What's crazy talk? I'm so confused. You can come up and tell us. I don't know what that means. This will be interesting. Hello?
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Hey, how you doing, Tina?
I'm good, thank you.
Right on.
So, yeah, I am 80 years old. I've been
Jesus.
on over 1,000 dates in my life. So I think I know something about relationships. Honestly, the expectations is definitely a big problem. I believe that men exist for pleasure only. Once you start expecting relationships with men, you're in trouble. Anyway, that's my thought of the day.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do. So you're saying the expectations for men are too high because to expect men to function like human beings in any way, shape, or form is too high. It's too much.
I wouldn't go that far. I would say that most women totally do not understand the biology involved with men and how they are driven by biology. Men, they're really very simple creatures. They are so emotionally starved, they can barely see straight. On these dates, I can't tell you how many of these dates ended up with these men in tears. Because I'm kind of a warm, friendly person. Most of these men were a lot younger than me.
How much younger than you, Miss Tina?
Oh God. Okay, when I was, I'm afraid to say.
Nah, don't be afraid to say. How much younger than you?
We don't judge. Okay, so this is a safe space, Miss Tina. We got you.
Yeah, so when I was 70, for sort of a social experiment, I did go on 300 dates in 1 year with mostly men in their 20s and 30s.
Okay, Miss Tina. Okay, this is the show.
True.
We got him. We got it today. This is the show. Hello, Miss. I like you.
It's true.
Tell us what happened.
Yeah, so how it all started was, quite honestly, I ended a relationship with my wife. I'm bisexual. I've been married 3 times, 1 black man, 1 black woman, 1 white man. All right, anyway, after I left my wife, I wanted to enter into a relationship with a man. And so I went on these crazy dating apps, and really young men would reach out to me. And I was so dumb in the beginning, I thought it was some kind of mistake. And I would say things like, I think you've made a mistake. You're 28 and I'm 70. What's going on here? And they would say, that's why I'm contacting you.
I thought she was easy.
Because I like older women and no older women will date me or be interested in me. So I thought, well, why not? So I started and I just couldn't stop because it was so much fun and so interesting and it was so wonderful to connect with humans. Were
you sleeping with these men? Some of them?
Some of them, yes.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
And how did that go? Like, how did that?
Oh, it was great. It was so much fun. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And I learned so much. The biggest takeaway for me was how emotionally starved men are.
They are.
If I had to sum it up in one sentence, it would be that. And so many of these dates did end up with these men breaking down in tears because they would start telling their life stories and their issues and everything, and they would say, "I've never told anyone this before."
Was the breakdowns happening before or after or during the hunching? Were you guys hunching and then they would break down, or was it on a date, like y'all would just be like hanging out and then they would break down?
Oh, both. Like, I live in the New York City area, so one thing was location. There was no lack of men in the New York City area. And we'd be going out to dinner and we'd start talking. I don't drink, but some of these men would drink. And after a couple drinks, just the conversation, and they just would start breaking down.
And what would they reveal to you?
A lot of it, I hope nobody takes offense. A lot of it was religious trauma.
We don't take offense to that. What do you mean? How were they were like abused in the church by the concepts of the church? Like what was going on?
Yeah, I don't recall any abuse. I'm a little off guard right now. I'll have to think about that.
Yeah.
But it was just their connection to the church. They felt as if they had been robbed of certain parts of their life by being, I don't want to use the word brainwashed, but I think
indoctrinated.
Yeah, exactly. And they just felt that took their life off course, and that they would have been happier and better people if they hadn't been that way. And then, of course, their families, under pressure from their families to fill in the blank, to stay in whatever religious community they were in, to connect with women they weren't interested in. Yeah.
This is interesting. Did you document this? Did you write it down somewhere? You got a chronicle? You do?
Yeah.
You got a YouTube page? You got something we can go? You need to start. If you ain't talking about it, you need to start talking about this. This is very compelling stuff.
I have very mixed feelings about that. The way the world is right now today, I don't know that I'm prepared for the backlash I would get, because.
What backlash would you get, Miss Tina? From who?
Are you kidding? Excuse me? You of all people, I've been watching you for a long time. You of all people realize the position of women in this world today. And for me to come out and start talking about at age 70 that I did all this stuff, can you imagine?
They would come for you. They would. You're right. They would come for you.
Absolutely, because
that's facts.
I'm not supposed to be doing anything like that, let alone at age 70. I'm supposed to be half dead, y'all.
That's true.
Miss Tina, don't you dare at 70-something years old let anybody tell you that body count matters. Like, because that's all they're going to do. That's the one that they're going to cut out. The body count matters. Down your body count.
I hope you slammed all 300 of them niggas when you. I ain't gonna even hold you. I hope you slammed. I hope all 3 of them, all 300 of them boys got the ride of their motherfucking life out of you. That's what I hope.
I have a question for Miss Tina.
Yeah.
So out of all of those, were any of them cheaters? Like anybody in a relationship and was like just trying to see you still?
That was interesting. Not as many as you'd think. I really don't I like playing around with men who are involved and or married. So I try to stay away from that. There were very few in that category.
Okay, so follow-up question, because I'm comparing notes. Okay, girlfriend, that's what we're doing right now. Okay. With the cheaters, because the whole confessional thing, I'm absolutely 100% on the page with you. Did the cheaters do extra dumping? Like, were they like, oh my God, I can't believe like this, I'm not this man, like this, I can't believe this is me, like, afterward?
No, I never experienced anything like that.
Damn, still only me. I hate it here.
Were the cheaters eaters?
Excuse me?
Yeah, for me.
Oh, they were. Okay. No, I was just like seeing if they was like into, because a lot of times the niggas be cheating, they don't be. A lot of times when men cheat, they don't be they don't really care about like.
Oh no, Pub, you want something wild? So, let's see. Let me think. How friendly can I make this? So when you put the square peg in the round hole, the action, the verb in that, right? Okay, that's what the cheaters be in the wilder things. I've done the wildest things with the cheaters than in my relationship.
Was that your experience, Miss Tina?
Well, I think by now I pretty much get the idea. I'm pretty open-minded and I'm open to all kinds of exploration.
Yeah.
About the cheating and everything. I would start every date with this statement: take out your phone, text your baby mama, your side chick, your girlfriend, and your mama, and then put your phone away and let's have some fun. I let them know right straight up front that I assumed that they were doing something besides me. I mean, come on, men that young, it doesn't make sense that they wouldn't be in some kind of relationship. But if I knew they were, I would avoid them. And when they were with me, they very little talk about it.
Yeah.
If any.
Miss Tina, you needed to collect the $40 copay from all of these dudes. Because it seemed to me that you were not just being like, so my favorite color is teal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You were digging deep into their childhood trauma and all this other kind of stuff, making dudes break down that weren't breaking. They owe you money. I don't care if they paid for your food. Like there's a $40 copay for that.
If a woman make me cry on a date, I don't think I want to sleep with her after that. I ain't gonna even lie. Like if I cry with a woman on a date, depending on where we at in the relationship, if I'm on a date and it's like date 2, 3, I'm crying, I'm probably not gonna be able. Like at that, that's an anti-aphrodisiac for me. I can't do it.
Well, I learned a lot about all of this from gay men. I sort of know how to cry.
Damn it, cut out. Mixtures.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I know how to kind of work them in a certain way. If
I believe you know how to work them now. That's I believe that, Miss Tina. We know that. Okay. But yeah, I know you. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm able to kind of break through their defenses and everything. So, yeah. Yeah.
Miss Tina, so if you did 300 dates in 364 days, right? Because that was your goal. And during these dates, so you need to date somebody different. Like, so, okay, we did our date yesterday. I won't talk to you tomorrow because I'm on a schedule, right? I only got 4 days to give, and Christmas falls in there and stuff. So anyway, how did that work when they wanted a date too? And you're like, nah, dude, it really was just for one date. I've got a schedule to uphold. I don't want to see you again. Or did double backing count?
No, repeat that.
Okay. So look, you did 300 dates in 364 days, right? So that means you only have 64 days out of the whole year to be not on a date.
That is correct.
Did they need to be 300 different men?
Let's see. Oh my God, it was 300 different men. But some of them were multiples, meaning I saw them.
You would date on the same day, yeah. That's what I figured. Yeah, you was on some how to be a player. You was
on the same day.
Mm-hmm.
I did have several dates on the same day. I'd go out for lunch and dinner.
Would you also on the same day do sexual things?
I definitely tried to avoid that.
But you did. Hold on, wait, Miss Tina. Miss Tina. Miss Tina.
The number 347-258-2781 is good.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I was trying to call you.
Okay.
He sound like one of them right now.
I'll tell you something right now. The only problem why it ain't been tiki torches and all kinds of haberdashery going on in this comment section is because Miss Tina is Miss Tina. Okay, if it had been Miss Shaquita, y'all have lost y'all mind. Okay, listen. Okay, I stand Miss Tina. Okay, look, when Meg Thee Stallion say Tina Snow, this is who she talk about, y'all. I just want y'all to know. Okay. Come on, somebody.
Hold on, let me read these real quick. Miss Mixtress Monica said, Miss Tina is my superhero. Please create a channel. See? They wanted Miss Tina. Miss Trutella said, Pub, bring Miss Tina back and do an interview with her. I would love to do that. That would be so interesting. I'm gonna do it on YouTube though. That's what I want to do, Miss Tina. I want to run down her story on she just get her own like segment. Sabrina said Miss Tina needs to be a regular on the panel. Absolutely. T said, Miss Tina, please write a book. I'm so interested. The people's want it. You got to get the people what they want. You know me. I'm just trying to figure out how these young men was feeling about that. These 20-something-year-old men, they was just like, I mean, you know what? It's not really, you know what? The more I think about it, I think about that men will sleep, men are into like necrophilia. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, men they be hunching trees. They be like, they don't give a fuck. Men they gonna try to, if it's warm and they got a hole, you know what I'm saying? Men gonna try to hunch it. That part I get, but it's the emotional shit that they was, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the emotional side of it that I am like, what the fuck? Like, how how were you able to get that out of them? Like, that's the shit that I don't get.
It makes more sense that somebody that is older would be able to get those emotional stuff out of them. Because it's like a mommy kind of thing, you know what I mean? It's part of the kink, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Hold up, y'all. We're not gonna roll past what Pub said, okay?
What?
Because that was cold in the game, okay? The necrophilia thing, like that was.
No, I'm saying that men are desperate. Ain't got nothing to do with her. I'm saying that is a big age difference.
Put your shovel down, Bub.
Just being honest. Ain't no shovel. Y'all about to sit here and act stupid and act like that's not fucking reality that most men are talking about. They don't like older women and they like. I'm dead serious. Like, what the fuck? I'm not playing stupid about that. I'm dead serious.
Consider it in reverse. Think about Robert De Niro and
Them and they nasty. That's what I'm saying. The older men are nasty when they hunch younger women, but a younger man sleeping with an older woman, I'm saying most people don't be into that shit. That's what I'm saying. That's not like that's not some fucking like crazy statement to make. I'm dead serious. Like what percentage of 20-something-year-olds are sleeping with 70-year-olds?
Okay, but the perception plays out though.
Yeah, men who are interested, think of it this way. Men who are interested in older women, they have a very difficult position. Most women will not give them the time of day. They have all these ridiculous stamps. Oh my God, I could never date anybody my son's age. All that ridiculous nonsense. And meanwhile, all this beautiful pleasure is just passing them by. Ridiculous. Okay, but anyway, so when they find a woman, they are so excited and so happy to just be with her because this is something that they crave. This is something they desire. You could, would you call it a fetish? Maybe.
Probably, yeah.
But not all of them. But yeah.
Some of them. That's what I'm saying. I leave the door open for some of them. Just genuinely, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, no, I like her. Yada yada yada. For sure. But I do also could see it being like a fetish type of thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that that's like crazy to say or consider. Like, I'm not. That's real. You know what I mean? Like, if a person that, like, when people say, and I was saying, when people say that they only date, like if a white person says I only date black people, that's like I'm like, why would you only date black people? That's so fucking weird. If a black person says I only date white people, that's so fucking. I think that that's weird. Like, I'm like, that's like, you for sure that's some fetishy type shit. It ain't like you are looking for these connections. You are like, you know, there's a reason why you only want to date this race or date that race or whatever. And it ain't usually, it's not, to me, probably not coming from a good place. That's what I'm saying. It's coming from some place of like some fetishization when you're fetishizing the person. That's what I'm saying. I don't think that that's crazy. I don't think that that's like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that that's like some, like, I just said made headline news. Like, I'm just saying, like, that's what I'm getting from it. When you talk specifically of men like in their 20s or 30s, you know what I'm saying? Definitely. I think like, you know, you go older than that. You talk about like in their 40s or 50s or yeah, I can see them being like, yeah, it is what it is. But like 20, 30-year-old men, like they want to have, they're still usually in the age of like trying to have babies, all these things coming into play. Right. So to me, it would, most of them, I'm saying some of them could not care about having kids. Right. But it's probably because, like you're saying, Tina, they just were like, hey, they long for it. It's the itch they want to scratch. And then you give them the time of day, because to your point, most women of your at your age at that time, they wouldn't have given those dudes any attention. Right. Like most older women would be like, I don't want to hunch no young boy or, you know, whatever, young man or whatever the case may be. Correct.
So I would ask them about this because I was also doing some informal research for a professor at NYU on human sexuality. And I would, after they would get them relaxed and kind of calm down, I wouldn't start off first, but then I would get into it and I would say to them, why are you attracted to older women? I'm just curious. Can you tell me? Or even sometimes before the date when we'd be chatting, I'd say, I'm just curious, what, you know, you're so young and The age differences. I mean, why? Can you explain to me why?
Yeah.
And it was always the same answer. They really couldn't articulate it. They would just say, I don't know. I just like older women.
Because they be masking.
Huh?
You don't think it's because men be masking and they just don't want to tell you why? Like they know why, but they don't want to tell you why?
That maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Well, let's be honest. Not everybody is capable of an in-depth,
True. That's true.
Conversation about even human sexuality,
Yeah.
let alone their own human sexuality. Unfortunately, most of us are going through this life totally
Repressed. No. You're right. No, that's true. That's true. I don't know about. I think that a lot of them knew and just didn't say anything. But yeah, I definitely could see that too. Like a lot of them, like just not ever giving it a second thought and just being like, oh no, you know what I mean? Like I just like older women for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. This is very interesting. I love this story. I think it's crazy. I ain't gonna even lie. Hunching on 20-something-year-old men at 70 years old is a little this is hella out of pocket. I ain't gonna hold you. If you was a man, I'll be like, you got worms. What you doing hunching on them little girls like that? So yeah, I think that's kind of crazy, but it is an interesting story to say the least. I think you definitely should tell it. Yeah, I think you definitely need to tell it because I think it's funny. I just think it's funny. And I just don't think that it doesn't seem like you were trying to like control them or manipulate them or anything like that.
Oh no, oh my God, no. I had very firm boundaries for myself. For example, I would never, ever, ever text them first or reach out to them, after the date. Even if I was interested in thinking, oh, I'd like to see that guy again, that was a very firm rule. Never reach out to them first.
Dope.
And that's good. I think that's good advice for women in general. A guy knows where you are, and if he wants to reach you, he will. Pestering him with a bunch of texts and everything is not going to engage him at all.
So ultimately, you just learned that men are just self-serving.
No, I wouldn't say that. What?
That's what you said. You were like, they just want their, like, they're just in it for pleasure.
No, she said men are for her pleasure.
Right.
Oh, men are for your pleasure. I thought you were saying me. Oh, got you. Okay.
Right.
Got you.
Not that they're out for pleasure. She said they shouldn't be used for anything other than pleasure.
Got you. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And that's where, unfortunately, a lot of people make big mistakes. But anyway.
What do you mean? What do you mean they make a mistake?
Well, we're in this puritanical culture.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, compare us to Europe or the Netherlands, for God's sake. It's ridiculous. They laugh at us.
Yep.
We're just so uptight.
Yep.
And also the whole thing about women, for a woman to own it and say, you know what? I'm just going to be with men for my pleasure. I'm not going to get into this whole relationship ridiculous nonsense. Mm-hmm. That's considered, oh my God, wow, you a hoe, you this, you that, ridiculous.
Miss Tina, so what's the difference between being married to a woman or being with a woman and being with a man? Because you didn't stay with either gender, forever, quote unquote. So what, what's the difference?
Yeah. So I forgot to mention that. Yeah, I dated several women in that. I didn't mention the women.
Oh, you had the girlies too? Oh man.
Yeah. I love women. I absolutely love women. When you're with a woman, and also this is interesting. I also got this vibe from military men and vets that it's sort of as if you're starting you already have sort of a jump start, if you will. With women, of course, we have something in common. So we're coming from a similar place. And then with vets and military people and also cops, I noticed there was a kind of a bottom, if you will, a kind of a tolerance for a lot of stuff because they have seen a lot of stuff. They've been through a lot. Mm-hmm. And I've always said that when you start fooling around with somebody, if you want to know how much they care about you, the only thing that matters is if they're going to hold your hair back while you're throwing up after your chemo treatment. If you can't see a man doing that, then no.
Listen,
Absolutely.
Miss Tina tells no taste.
That would come somewhere very different when she said if they hold your hair back. I was like,
It started off a little freaky. It did.
Did anybody else get nervous?
I did. I said,
Tina, where we going?
I clocked it quick. I was like, wait, hold your hair back for this. She said, throwing up after chemo. I said, oh. Then she said throwing up, and I was thinking like, oh, when you get drunk. And then she said chemo, and I said, oh, okay, damn, that was a doozy.
Yeah, what I will confirm and absolutely say I'm on the same page is the difference between dating men and women. Absolutely 100%. And even the military cop connection, I will also concur, and I'm 100% on the same page with your sister. You are 100% correct.
Oh, wow. I love that. You can identify with that. I love that.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
ma'am.
Yeah, it's so
I have a sister and a friend in me.
wow.
Let Ari Fit go ahead. Is it Ari Fit, right?
Yeah, you can just call me Ari.
Hey, Ari. Go ahead, Ari.
Like real quick, can we just give it up for Miss Tina because
Absolutely. I love Miss Tina. She breaking that thing down for us.
And I mean this with all due respect, like you are my spirit animal because you actually get it.
Oh.
I mean, you dropped a lot of gems, and I did have like one question for you, but one thing also is that I too have had plenty of men break down during like first encounters, first dates, first everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe that there is, I think it's very simple, like a very simple way to tap into specifically like a man's emotions. I don't think it's really hard to do. I just think you need to know how to do it.
Exactly.
And I don't do these things intentionally either. I think it's just a part of my personality, right? Like I can see you, I can see these things in you, so I'm going to tap into it. I'm going to ask these questions. And I do think that the emotion that shows up is because they are so busy masking, and that the questions or the conversation catches them so off guard that they have no choice but to just let the emotions flow. So that's just one of my observations. And I can go on and on about the things that they've shared, the things that they've cried about, but a lot of these things I just take to the grave because I don't think you should share those things. But my question was like, is there anything that you saw in common that you found that these men, these younger men had in common when you were interacting or engaging with them?
First, I want to say you said that so beautifully. You said it much more beautifully than I did. Anything in common? No. Like for give me an example of what you might be thinking of.
Like
Just
girth.
some, like commonality, right? Like, that's not even what I was thinking. I was thinking like, you know, mommy issues or like difficulty, you know, feeling like if they were enough, like insecurities. Hub goes to girth. I'm like, what? It's a legitimate question.
I'm asking the real questions, man. Damn.
Oh, I don't think so. Let's see, similarities. No, it was really a very wide variety, quite honestly, mostly men and women of color, but a very wide variety. Wow, what a variety. Oh my God.
Because you was in New York, so you was just, you know what I mean? Like everybody in New York, you was just getting a little bitty.
They crowdfunding in the comments. They got $20 on dropping the host.
They almost there. They done put a lot of money on my head before. Yeah, okay. I like that. That's interesting.
I had a date with a guy, and I was having dinner with another man, and it just wasn't working. So I said, okay, I want to meet you. And he was a young, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous Marine. And before the date, he said to me, okay, just so you know, I like to wear women's underwear.
Oh, that's good for him.
And okay. And I was like, and he said, but I want you to know that this has nothing to do with you and won't interfere in any relationship we may have.
Did he have some on at that time or something?
Yeah. So I thought, no, I have no problem with that. I'd like to see what this is all about. So I met him, and oh my God, this guy, he had to be one of the most self-confident men that I met during this whole thing. He was incredible. And I said to him, you're a freaking Marine, for God's sake. What the hell? I mean, that's all he liked to do was wear women's underpants. That's it. Nothing else. So I said, what the hell would happen to you if you were serving and somebody would find out? I just can't imagine. He was very nonchalant about it. He said, yeah, it would be terrible. And that was it. And I saw him pretty consistently until he was stationed back out west.
Damn.
And yeah, I was so fascinated with him that to have that peculiarity about his personality, but to be so grounded and so self-confident, amazing, absolutely amazing. So, I mean, what an honor and a blessing it was to experience all of these fabulous human beings, and some of them in their most vulnerable moments. I mean,
that's what's up.
Absolutely. I'm so lucky to have had this incredible experience.
I'm lucky you came up here and told us this, because I'm thoroughly interested. That boy was into men. He was into women's underwear. That's not, hey, and I don't kink shame. So I'm, you know what I'm saying, depending on the kink for the most part. But I don't kink shame. So wearing women's underwear,
Be surprised at what the most manliest
wait,
men.
wait, hold on, y'all. What kind of underwear are we talking about, by the way? Because women got a lot of different kind of granny panties. What are we talking about?
He wore that's interesting. They were always the same, very plain, like bikini panties. No, a plain.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
just plain.
No frills and nothing like that. Almost like granny panties, not a thong. In between granny panties and a thong, them regular bikini. But yeah, correct. Okay. Yeah. And what was the back? And it was just a regular back. No, nothing. Yeah. Just a regular. Damn. Yeah. So he was wearing women's briefs.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
He was so interesting, so smart, so intelligent. Just such an interesting man all the way around. Yeah. And
he wore them like daily, or he wore them on special occasions?
He wore them every time I saw him. I don't know about he liked to wear them all the time, is what he said.
So he got unalived. They'd take his clothes off and he had them panties on. That would be crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, wow, imagine what that took to say that to a complete stranger right off the jump. I mean, wow. Yeah. And yeah, there were other experiences like that. And one time I was a lot of guys, they were gay, but they didn't know it, but I did. And I'd say, you're gay. And then they'd mull it over and come back like a month later and say, yeah, you were right. And thank you for opening me up and, letting me come to terms with that and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Damn. And you was helping people with their sexuality in that way too. Yeah, you remember Dr. Ruth? You sound a little bit. Yeah, it's very much some Dr. Ruth type shit to me. I feel like you might want to open up the lines and let the people, you know what I mean, and had it let everybody call in and you could tell them. Now, what you want to do is, Ruth used to have that German, that Austrian accent she had. That motherfucker was thick. Go ahead. Who's up here first? KGR. Go ahead, KGR.
Oh no, I think it was Artfit, wasn't it?
No, she already went. Ari, she already went.
Oh, I got him, so we don't have to do that Mario Kart one. Sorry, we're showing the Mario Kart. Sorry, we got the Christmas shopping done.
Okay, congratulations.
Those relationships. I'm just trying to figure out, Miss Tina, that's a life. Have you thought about writing a book?
I did actually write a book. I do have a publisher. Unfortunately, my business partner, she was also my business partner, lover, and friend for over 60 years. I spoke to her every day for 60 years. Unfortunately, she passed away during COVID.
Oh.
And I really don't know what direction I want to go with, if I want to do anything with this. I have very mixed feelings. I've had a completely over the top exciting life. I come from a show business family. Every dream I had as a kid came true before I was 40. So, I mean, just amazing. So that dating experience was just one part, as I said, of a completely over the top life long before that event.
You was living like people was living back when the cocaine was pure, but you did it at 70, like around that.
Yeah, I lived in the Chelsea Hotel in the 70s. I don't know if any of you know what that's.
Oh my gosh. Get out of here. It's just making me happy. We need a movie because
No, a mini series. Like I'm saying, I want to grow up with you. You know what I'm saying? Like you're like, and when I say that, I mean like I need the mini series to start with you in like puberty time. You know what I'm saying? And then just like follow you through, right? Like just taking, I don't know, the most important moments from each one. And I just want to grow up with you all the way through you dating these men in the 70s, in your 70 years old, in your 70s. Yeah. Like, I just, yes.
No, it starts with that. It should start with that. And then you should flash back to your life and how you got to what led you to that.
Yes.
That'd be really, because it should center, that's what it should be centered around. Is you being in your 70s.
Definitely catch people's attention.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the party goods at the Chelsea Hotel in the 70s. Oh my God.
Didn't nobody to slip you nothing. You was taking it willingly. You was like, give me that, Bill Cosby. I'll take 2 of them.
The Q-ludes, those were like the ish back then, right? The Q-ludes and then like snowing, the snow.
Yeah. What big time dealers would do is they'd rent a room in the hotel and the word would go out that they were there and they would stay there until their supply was gone and then somebody else would come in. But I mean, friends, this was, cream of the crop. This was completely over the top high end stuff of all the stuff, everything.
They want to know your zodiac, Miss Tina.
Yeah, I'm a Cancer. I was born on July 18th, 1944.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I bet you can get real vicious, though, if they try to mess with that money, right?
So you're 80 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did this 10 years ago. This was a decade ago.
Yeah.
A lot of y'all was still vet behind the ears. And she was out there hunching on 20-year-olds. Step your game up. Well,
I mean, as long as you're teaching them how to actually the thing.
Y'all heard the alarm.
It's good for certain men to learn how to actually please a woman from an older woman, and they feel less judged, I guess.
Now, do you mean like in acts of intimacy?
Yes.
Yeah. Of course, men want to please. So.
Wait. Men want to please.
Yes, they do. They absolutely do.
Then why they so trash at it?
Because they've never heard. I don't know. You're the expert, ma'am.
Yeah. Well, they want to.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. But was it Ari that said it so beautifully? She said it perfectly. That they're masking themselves in so many situations. I mean, the pressure on men is absolutely insane. And they have, again, very few real emotional outlets. They're broken. They are really broken. So, to circle back, to expect relationships from these men is,
Miss Tina, I'm gonna hit you on the back end. I would love for you to come on. I want to talk to you about, not on the live, but you know what I'm saying, like on a video or something. We could do like a video. I would just like to hear. I have so many questions for you, and I can't. There's no way for me to ask them right now. But if you would, so I'll hit you up if you're interested in anything. We could talk. I think that would be really interesting. I really would just like to talk to you.
I would love to do that. In fact, if I could find someone to work with to tell my story, I would do that. But
let's start with this.
Myself alone. I don't want to do it alone.
Yeah, no. Let's start with this because I wouldn't be like, I'm not a publisher. I'm not good at that. But maybe you could tell it, and then I'll put it out there, and then maybe somebody will pick it up and help you. You know what I mean? Like, actually, we can help. Maybe find somebody to help you tell it in a different way, in a better way, right? But
Therese up on the back end, Pub. Hit Therese up on the back end because she has somebody.
Okay. But yeah, so I'll do that. I'll do that for sure. But hey, I gotta go pick up my kid. I appreciate everybody coming up, man. One love, one thug. Y'all know what it is. We did it, dog. Are you not entertained? God damn, we finally got up over 200,000 likes. Oh man, y'all can bang the cash that one time on the way out. Man, that was cool. That was one of my favorite lives. That was one of my favorite lives. Start to finish, baby. If you missed it, go back and watch from the beginning. The shit was good through and through. Through and through, man. Through and through. Appreciate the chat, man. Shout out to the best minds in the business. All the old subs, all the new subs. We didn't get that many new subs, man. I'm going to get on y'all tomorrow about that, too. We got to do it again. We got to get the subs back popping. Look at the subs. They down low again. We supposed to be closer to 400, not further away from it. I was only gone for a week, baby. Miss Poetrix, Teresa, Miss True Teller, Bun Mistress, Reese Skyler, Monique King, Miss Chrissy Baby, Nia X, Heidi Sausage, T, Ebony Jaja, Paris, Mistress Monica, Sabrina. I appreciate y'all for real, man. Get ready. I got to go get this baby in a moment, but I'll holler.